tonight's broadcast as Club 54 Racing presents Friday Night Excitement from Ohsweken Speedway. We'll be live tonight on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Greg Kellman. With me, Adam Ross, and going to be another great night of action. Clinton Jeffrey will be patrolling down trackside once again. As hot laps just taking place right now for the 360 sprint cars and getting ready for tonight's qualifying action. So again, live on Facebook and YouTube tonight. Want to thank everyone that's joining us on YouTube. Don't yet see the Facebook link live and going as of yet, but again, hot laps taking place for the 360 sprint cars.
Good to see Scott Kruger back in that 49.
Yeah, that was a wild, wild crash. The more I watched the replay, the more I was in awe of what a wild crash it was down the backstretch, and he did a good job to keep his words in line in the interview.
And you know, rightfully he was upset, and thank goodness his ride along the wall, rubbing along the wall for as long as he did, really took a lot of energy off before he started to tumble. If that car had taken a launch right away, there's no telling where he would have landed. So it looks like the outside groove nice and smooth. Jake Brown hanging the rear end out. Coming off of turn number 4. Cole McDonald with a little bit of a bobble, or maybe he just lifted because he was done his practice session. So if you're just joining us, a lot of work done on the racetrack this week. And it seems to have paid off. Things look great out there. There's a fantastic line right around the outside of the racetrack. We have yet to see what the bottom groove is going to do, Greg. You can see from here, turn 1 is pretty soft down there, but the drivers definitely have some options that are workable. And as Clinton Jeffrey joins us as the broadcast moves on, I'm sure he can get the opinion of some of these drivers and crew chiefs down in the pits and let us know what they're feeling.
Yeah, during hot laps tonight, they have been sending many of the divisions down around that lower ring because it is quite damp down there right now. And later on in the night, that might be a good thing. That might be where you'll see some of these drivers heading down low, looking for some extra bite when the upper lanes start to dry out, slicken up a little bit.
Do you know who that 16T is? And if you do you know what kind of car that is?
Well, I believe it might be Mike Thompson or his brother.
Jason Thompson.
Jason Thompson. I believe it's Jason because Jason drives the 16T.
Raced with us in iRacing this winter, said he's pretty excited. He's not making the jump that Alan Downey did, but he's going to do it in a mini stock. Of course, that's who it is. I spoke with him. I didn't realize that was the number he was running.
So HRW Automotive Mini Stocks getting ready for their hot lap session, and then we should be straight into our crate sprint car qualifying heats, 4 in total of them tonight, followed by our Thunder Stocks with their qualifiers, 360 sprints, and then Mini Stocks will run their heats. We'll go into our B mains for the evening, and then our order of events tonight for features, again, crates, Thunder Stocks, 360s, and Mini Stocks.
Just got a message from Fabio Oliveri to say that 16T is the former Clinton Nichols race car. Clinton Nichols here tonight with a Thunderstock. Saw him heading into the scales earlier on this evening. Didn't notice if he came out for their practice session, Clint.
Good point there, Adam. I heard you guys talking about the track earlier. That's why I'm chiming in now. But yeah, Clint Nichols here with the help of the Gordon crew. Todd Gordon, Doug Gordon helping him get that car rebuilt. So we'll see what Clint Nichols can do with the Thunderstock. And kind of interesting story how it came together. I was talking to the Gordon family, Doug and Todd Gordon from their Warrior Racing chassis business. And he said, the Nichols family have been in racing around this area for a long time. And if the kid's serious, we felt it was a good time to jump in and help him get up to speed. So we'll see what Clint Nichols can do this year with some extra added experience and help when it comes to building those cars. So we'll watch how that plays out. But the track has come in. Very nice guys. Glenn and the crew have done a great job this week to put it together. You may have seen us working the bottom as things are a little bit tight down there. So it is coming in beautifully. We expect great things tonight. Still a bit soft on the bottom. And like I told a lot of the drivers, if our crew could actually have control of the moisture being added to the surface, things a lot better for them. And they got the closest thing to that this week. So we'll see what we get as far as track prep goes. So that's your Case IH track report to get us going. We're just about ready to go in with our anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask you now to please rise, remove your caps, and turn your attentions to corners 1 and 2 where the national flags are being flown as we get ready for the playing of the U.S. and Canadian national anthems.
This will be an exciting start to the night. The Strickland's GMC Crate Sprint's going to kick things off on a pair of rookies on the front row. Starting first in car number 20 out of Six Nations, it's Johnny Miller, and on the outside of row 1 from Kitchener, the 39 is Shane Stickle. Row 2 on the inside, the 49L out of Brantford, it's Lucas Smith, and from Niagara Falls, Ontario, in the number 70, Bailey Hurd. Starting fifth from Ohsweken, the 69 is Joshua Hill, and alongside him from Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely. Starting 7th from Caledonia, the 88 is Jesse McDonald, and starting 8th from Hagersville, the 49H is Jerry Hill. Starting 9th from Ohsweken, the 9C is Brian Nanakoke, and rounding out the field from Woodstock, the 29W is Tyler Ward. 10 cars scheduled to start heat number 1 in the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprints. Top 5 will transfer directly to the A main. The rest will be B main bound.
Again, tonight's racing action brought to you by Club 54 Racing. All 4 divisions in action, plus it's a duel on the dirt. Home track race number 2 for the Thunderstocks, brought to you by Instapanels. Kyle McKenzie ready to display the white flag for the first time tonight as we get ready for racing action 1 lap from now.
Pretty cool to see Kim Banyard over on this side of the racetrack in the scorer's booth as well, Greg. Some questions about the transponder lines and whether the work done on the racetrack may have affected them. But Kim Banyard, one of the elite scorers, does it the old school way. She knows how to score these races. She'd scored the Can-Am TQ midgets for years, and if you can read those tiny numbers going by at the speeds they go, I think she can handle things here on the dirt.
The Iceman on the pole for this one, Johnny Miller, ready to bring them to the green flag, and the field comes to life for the first time tonight. We're ready to go here with Friday night excitement at the Big O.
Johnny Miller got a little bit loose in turn 4. That allowed Stickle around the high side. Made up most of the ground in 1 and 2, but Stickle came out strong down the back straightaway. It looks like he's going to lead lap number 1.
Yeah, Shane Stickle out there with that newly wrapped car. He had that done 1 week ago. As last week's winner, Lucas Smith, was slow down the front stretch. He seems to have it back under power now and picked back up in behind. Well, no, troubles again entering corner 3.
Yeah, he comes up to speed and then it just tapers off. Now, we heard they had some engine problems that they believe they discovered the cure to, and it's almost like a rev limiter is hitting that car before it should. Watch him down the backstretch up to speed, and then right there, okay, he didn't fall off this time.
So out in front, Shane Stickle being chased by Johnny Miller. Bailey Hurd up there in a solid 3rd spot. Rob Neely running in the 4th position. Then you've got the teammates back there of Josh Hill and Jesse McDonald going at it.
So the 5th spot right now is Josh Hill. Jesse McDonald 1 place behind him. Brian Nanakoke has had some great races this season in that Canada Fuels 9C, looking pretty good as well, as Tyler Ward almost makes contact there with Lucas Smith. Smith is going to take that car back to the pits.
Frustrating start to the night for Lucas Smith, who finally got into Mr. Transmission victory lane 1 week ago. Thought they had the gremlins figured out, but he has been bitten again, and he'll go back to the trailer and get ready for the B main.
Well, talk about frustration. Look at the list of names who failed to qualify last week. Liam Martin, Jacob Dykstra, Paul Klager, I believe, was on that list. I think we need to drop the live scoring from the feed because it's coming up wrong.
Yeah, we had some 360 sprint cars up there. Just having some issues again tonight with the scoring loops, so those will probably not show up properly tonight.
We'll inform you the old-fashioned way who's running where.
Shane Stickle picks up the win over Johnny Miller. Then it's Bailey Hurd 3rd, Rob Neely 4th, and Josh Hill will come home in 5th. Jesse McDonald 6th, 7th will be Brian Nanakoke. At the line, 8th is Tyler Ward, and 9th will be Jerry Hill. 10th will go to Lucas Smith, who had to pull off early.
And even still, Bailey Hurd qualified for the feature last week, so did Jesse McDonald, but they had to do it in the B feature. What a relief it is to get in through the, or am I wrong, did Jesse McDonald not just get in through the heat? Did he finish 5th or did Hill finish?
No, he was in 6th.
So he's going to have to go through the B main again, and that's just stressful.
And last week we saw a lot of heavy hitters not even make the A main, so Jesse can't just feel confident that, hey, we'll just walk away with a B main win here tonight.
Absolutely. Well, he's going to have Lucas Smith in his B main, who's going to be fighting for every piece of clay he can find out there. He does not want to sit out a feature. Heat race number 2 rolling on to the racetrack, starting from the pole out of Binbrook in the 29. It'll be Liam Martin. Alongside him from Kitchener, number 2, Travis Hofstetter. Starting in third in the 19 at Gore's Landing is Brandon Merle. And starting fourth from Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill. Starting fifth from Waterloo, the 19D is Alan Downey. And starting sixth from Beamsville, the 1A of Paul Klager. Starting seventh from Hagersville in the 14T is Noel Teal. Starting eighth from Hagersville, the MK8 is Matt Hill. Rounding out the field from St. Catharines, the 22 junior is Alan Galetta. As Kyle McKenzie about to give the white flag, we've got to welcome Cameron Thompson. He is now working in turn 4 as the flagging team. People getting shuffled around a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but great to have Cameron Thompson down there in the 4th turn as he will go out there and apply the chalk line.
Well, guys, quickly, Cameron worked in last week, did a great job filling in for Johnny Howell. Johnny isn't getting around as quick as he was, and we needed a liaison in the pit, so we put Johnny Howell back there to help drivers get through any scoring issues they might have, because we've got so many of them back there. Bob was having trouble keeping up, so Cameron got the call. They tell me he's the flagger of the future, so we're going to put him to work down here in turn 4, and Johnny Howell's got a new job working in the pits with Bob.
There's a lot of jobs that need doing here at the racetrack, and every one of them is important.
Well, except ours.
Well,
Liam Martin is looking for revenge, I guess you would call it, after 1 week ago not making the A main. This was a guy that led the points early in the season, and he wants to get in the easy way through the heats.
I doubt there will be any driver who qualifies for every feature event this year. That's how tough this division is, as Jordan Hill and Brandon Merle driving close down the front straightaway there, close again down the backstretch, trying to catch Hofstetter, who's off to a good start.
Brandon Merle up there mixing it up with the top 5, trying to get his way into the A main as well. The driver that makes his way all the way from Gore's Landing down in the Eastern Ontario region, down closer to Brighton Speedway, which used to be his home track on Saturday nights in the Thunderstock division. But here he is doing a nice job working his way to second.
Hofstetter got a little wide there coming off of turn 4. That allowed Jordan Hill to close in, and Paul Klager. Klager showed a wheel to Hill on the inside and had to lift in a hurry. He's going to try again down in 3 and 4.
Halfway home in this one, 4 in, 4 to go in this 8-lap qualifying heat with Martin Merle. Alan Downey gets off track up in corners 1 and 2, gathers it back up. Nice save by the driver of the 19D.
Yeah, that's a pucker up moment, and I'm not talking about your lips when you get up there at that speed off the banking.
Here comes Brandon Merle challenging for the top spot as they work down the backstretch. Liam Martin has the lead, but here comes Brandon Merle. Really got this sprint car figured out here tonight.
Yeah, he's got a nice line around the bottom. If he could get off the turn with that same amount of momentum, he'd be doing great. He just he either blows the entry or blows the exit. When I say that, I mean he's still going pretty quick, but he's just missing it by a hair. But if he could put both the entry and the exit together, he could really mount a challenge.
One more time around for Liam Martin out of Binbrook, Ontario, your leader over Brandon Merle, Paul Klager, Travis Hofstetter, and Jordan Hill. Right now, the 5 transferred position cars.
Checkered flag in the air. Liam Martin going to take the win. A great run by Merle to finish 2nd. Klager 3rd. Hofstetter 4th. Jordan Hill 5th. And in the show, Noel Teal, Matt Hill, Alan Downey, and Alan Galetta are headed for the B main.
Liam Martin out of Binbrook in the Chasten Brothers Float Service number 29 picks up the heat race win, and he will assure himself a spot in the A main this week. And you've got nearly 40 cars coming every week in this division. You cannot count yourself for sure in the A main at all.
And how exciting is that? Where so many tracks have been struggling to get cars that most of them have done away with heat races in the first place. There's not really an asphalt track that I know of anymore that runs heat races. We need ours. Heat race number 3, starting on the pole in the number 56 out of Hamilton, it's Derek Lemaire. On the outside of him from Welland, the 3B is Blaine Barrow. Starting 3rd in the number 5 out of Beachville, it's DJ Christie, and starting 4th from Mount Bridges, the 45 is Nick Sheridan. Starting 5th from Freelton, the 43 is Darren Dryden. Alongside him from Fonthill, the 08 is Stephen Beckett. Starting 7th from Stony Creek, the 24A is A.J. Lewis. Starting 8th from Ohsweken, the 38 is Derek Miller. Rounding out the field in the number 70 from Brampton, Dave McKnight Jr. Derek Miller losing a wheel in practice. He has things put back together, and he is ready to rumble here in this qualifying heat.
Tyson Berry watching here tonight from down under in Australia. Cheers, he says. Not Tyson Berry of the Colorado Avalanche. What time is it there, Tyson? What day is it? They're ahead of us, right?
They are. Most people are ahead of you and me, Greg.
What time is it in Cambridge, Adam?
I don't know. I'm never there at this time. On a Friday.
Note to all burglars out there. Green flag in the air. Derek Lemaire and Blaine Barrow will lead them into corners 1 and 2, and down the back stretch with DJ Christie riding back there in third. Stephen Beckett and the youngster that's been all the talk, Nick Sheridan, right now battling for fourth.
Nick Sheridan on the inside of DJ Christie. A couple of young drivers whose parents raced on the asphalt came to their senses and brought them to the dirt.
Derek Lemaire out in front. Good battle back there with Blaine Barrow, Nick Sheridan, DJ Christie, Stephen Beckett. Those are transfer cars right now. Derek Miller, Darren Dryden, and Dave McKnight Jr., the three cars looking to get up inside the top 5.
Right now, Stephen Beckett in that position, being chased by Derek Miller. Look at that. The top cars running the bottom of the racetrack. Derek Miller a little bit higher on the track and seems to be closing in on the 08 of Stephen Beckett.
Five laps up on the board for Derek Lemaire in the Burger Barn Racing, number 56. And then Nick Sheridan there in second. DJ Christie and Blaine Barrow were duking it out. DJ Christie into the third position. Barrow back to fourth. Stephen Beckett still holding down fifth. Darren Dryden, who sits outside of a transfer spot, he's about 8 car lengths back of getting into the show as he's trying to hold off Derek Miller.
Well, Derek Miller was closing in on Beckett, and then Darren Dryden made a pass on Miller. They lost a little bit of ground, but he'll have a good starting spot for the B main if this is how they finish. Sheridan closing the gap on Derek Lemaire for the lead, but I think he's going to run out of time. Lemaire in that Burger Barn 56. One more trip through 3 and 4.
Checkers off of corner number 4. Derek Lemaire will pick up the win over Nick Sheridan. DJ Christie easily comes home third. Blaine Barrow holds on to fourth over Stephen Beckett. Then you've got Darren Dryden, Derek Miller, and Dave McKnight Jr. will all go to tonight's B main. As there we see Derek Lemaire in the Burger Barn Ohsweken Construction number 56 picking up the heat race win.
And I got a note that Ohsweken Speedway still runs heat. That they do. And I'm thrilled to see this week that Vern Lefebvre is on his way to a recovery. Did you see that video, Greg, of the fire down at Ohsweken Speedway?
That was scary.
Wow. I saw his hands and his arms bandaged up, and someone should send him a note and say, hey, if you're just resting, you should watch some Ohsweken Speedway action on a Friday night. Might pass the time for him.
Tyson Berry says it's 9:30 Saturday morning in Australia right now. He said, Saturday morning, mate. So in Canadian, do I say thank you, Hoser, or
well,
we don't have a mate to really?
No, but I think, hey man, thanks man.
Hey man, there you go. See, I went totally Bob and Doug McKenzie there with Hoser.
Thanks, bruh. Yeah, you went a little excessive. While we're under caution here and on a very serious note, we want to send our heartfelt condolences to the friends, family, and loved ones of John Harper, Spider-Man. He just won an Oscar modified race at Jukasa Speedway last month and passed away suddenly this week. He got ill and a few days later he passed away, but boy, oh boy. I saw him here at the track after his Jukasa win. So congratulations, John. That was awesome to see, and he looked well. And, he passed away this week.
And that's, when I saw the news, I was completely shocked because you and I were both there at Jukasa that day when he got the win, and you're shocked and upset, but at the same time, I'm glad that he got to win that race at Jukasa, because the last time I spoke to him, man, he was happy.
Racing meant so much to John. I got to see him a lot when I worked down at Grisdale. Just a great guy. Let's give you the lineup quickly. Jacob Dykstra in the 5D, Jesse Costa in the 52, Brad Herron in the 12, Eric Gledhill in the 14, Lofton Schutz in the 10, Trevor Young in the 51, Spencer Davis in the 83, Hannah Farrell in the 4, and Jason Dixon in the 69K.
Field takes the green and head down into corner number 1 with Jacob Dykstra, another one of those drivers looking for a comeback night here after he failed to get into the A main 1 week ago. He's trying to hold off Jesse Costa, challenging on the bottom.
Big move by Jesse Costa, sticks his nose to the inside. Dykstra has to reroute turn number 4, adjust his line a little bit. They'll continue to race side by side through 1 and 2 with Costa taking the advantage.
We talked about how tacky it was down low at the start of the broadcast, and we're seeing guys going down there already, and Jesse Costa really making it work.
And with the crates, I think they don't carry so much speed that they're able to hook the bottom. I don't think a 360 could make the bottom work as well as the crates are right now, just with the horsepower that they have.
Jesse Costa leading the way over Jacob Dykstra, Eric Gledhill, then it's Brad Herron and Hannah Farrell side by side for 4th and 5th. Right now, Lofton Schutz in the 10 on the outside of a transfer spot.
With the luck of the draw format, how much do you think Darren Barr likes seeing both of his cars in the same heat race?
To me, it's loading all your bullets into one chamber at the same time, and if anything goes wrong, then you've got a lot of problems. So right now, both in transfer spots, though, so looking good for Darren Barr and Barr Motorsports.
So far, so good for that group, and so far, so good for Jesse Costa, who has just powered away nearly a full straightaway advantage as Gledhill making a move to the inside of Jacob Dykstra with 2 laps to go.
2 more trips around for Jesse Costa out of St. Thomas, Ontario, the best safety training car, number 52. He works it down the backstretch. Last week, we saw him take a big bump down in corner number 1 while he was battling for the win. And after the race, he said, you know what? I was nervous when I hit it because that's how I injured my back, but he said it felt good afterwards, and that was a great sign for Jesse Costa.
That is a great sign, and the drivers are going to be thrilled with the improvements that we've seen at the racetrack. Jesse Costa as thrilled as anybody, I'm sure, taking the win in this heat race number 4 for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprints. Dykstra second, Gledhill, Farrell, Brad Herron headed for the B main will be Lofton Schutz, Spencer Davis, Trevor Young, and Jason Dixon.
Just want to remind everybody the 50-50 sellers are out and about with their pink shirts on, and we guaranteed a $750 win tonight. Minimum $750 guaranteed in the 50-50, so get your tickets. Wave to the sellers, they're in the pink shirts. If you see them around, just give them a yell or a wave and they'll come by.
Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks ready to go with their qualifying heats here tonight. It's an Instapanels dual on the dirt home track race for them. Home track race number 2 on the season. You doing Thunders again tonight, or do you want to? Doesn't matter.
Heat race number 1 going to roll off like this. Starting on the pole out of Brantford in the number 40, it's Derek Liverance. On the outside of row number 1, the 43 out of Hamilton is Kyle Andrus. Row 2 on the inside in the number 2, it's Matt Newell. Alongside him in the 6R is Jeff Roloffs. Row 3 on the inside in the number 11 out of Thorold, it's Go Fast Teeple. Alongside him, they had to rebuild the rear end in this race car this week. From Simcoe, the number 4 is Aaron Ruwitsky. Row 4 is all Brantford. On the inside, the number 1 is Chris Dickey. On the outside, the 13 of Casey Huffman. And rounding out the field out of Caister Center, the 41 is Adam Plazik.
Green is out. Derek Liverance leads him down into the first corner with Go Fast Teeple in tow.
I don't think Doug Leonard liked that start very much. Kyle Andrus didn't get up to speed all that well, but it just exaggerated the fact that Derek Liverance might have taken off a little early.
Well, let's jump in and talk to Doug. Doug, tell the fans what you didn't like about that start.
did not like that start because, as we see every week on the one-way radio, the front row has to fire together at that chalk line, not before the chalk line. The 40 went early, so we'll put them back a row and bring the 11 to the pole car. It'll be one to go at the line.
There we have it from race director Doug. Thanks, Doug. We know you're busy, but we appreciate the call from the officials, guys.
We better behave or he'll call our wives and put them on speakerphone.
I dare him. Oh, dear. So now Go Fast Teeple, the Beamsville Fish and Chips number 11. He's been pretty quick this year.
Yeah, he has. That car has looked very stout, and he's been up there and competing for victories this year in what's been a very, very entertaining Thunderstock division. You just have no idea who's going to win this year, which hasn't been the case for the last couple of years.
No, for sure. There's been so many contenders, and they both fire first. Wow. Andrews dropped an anchor coming down the front stretch. That car just did not come up to speed.
3 wide behind Teeple as Jeff Roloff sorts things out, gets into second. Now here comes Aaron Rowitsky riding the outside line around the 40 of Derek Liverance.
I was talking to Aaron in the pits tonight and said, where's your speed been? What's going on? And he says, actually, the car's been fairly quick. He says, I've only finished 2 races this year. If we can get to the end of a race, he said, I think we can run pretty well. And he looks stout here so far. A lot of bite, though, on this racetrack at this point in the night.
Here comes Jeff Roloff off of corner number 4. He'll lead the lap in the Club 54 Racing 6R. Regular runner down at the Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, and he has problems up in corner 1, drifts high in 2, and that allows both Teeple, Rowitsky to go by, and now Newell works to the inside of Roloff's.
Great battle there in the top 5. And some unlikely hitters up there in the top 5 as well. Although I shouldn't say that, but Newell hasn't quite put things together in that 2 machine, but it looks like that car is a lot more comfortable for him here tonight, having a good run in the 4th position.
Seeing the Elvis lip curl again off the right front of Go Fast Teeple. That hood popping up, one of the pins popping away, but not slowing him down at all. Out in front over Aaron Rowitsky, side by side between Roloffs and Newell, and a good solid run for Newell, who is new to this division this year. Of course, the mini stock champion 1 year ago.
Looking good out there, running in the 3rd spot. Roloffs is mounting a challenge. Go Fast Teeple pulling away out front, and Aaron Rowitsky backing up a little bit. So it's a 2nd, 3rd, 4th battle. Chris Dickey moving up as well. He'd like to make it a 4-car battle.
Go Fast Teeple out in front over Aaron Rowitsky. Newell right there in tows. This time by, they'll cross the stripe. There'll be 2 laps left to go here in this Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Heat Race event. Heat race number 1 of 3 on the evening.
Matt Newell really hanging the back end of that old Rusty Wallace lookalike number 2. Smoke coming out the back of Aaron Rowitsky's 4 machine. Just a little bit of smoke.
Whoa, Derek Liverance and Casey Huffman got a little bit sideways off of corner 4. Both of them get the ship straightened out, and they tuck back in line as the checkered about to fall on Go Fast Teeple.
Good run for Teeple, and a nice move by Matt Newell sets up Rowitsky. He was hungry for that pass, and he made it.
So Newell comes home in 2nd over Rowitsky, Dickey, and Roloff's your top 5. Then it was Derek Liverance, Adam Plazik, and Casey Huffman as we get ready for our 2nd qualifying heat for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock division.
And the field rolls out in order. Starting on the pole from Hagersville, the 93 is Melissa Miller, and on the outside from Harley, the 37 is Rob Hoskins. Starting 3rd, the 21X from Caledonia, it's Mark Bazine, and starting 4th from Jerseyville, the 53 is Logan Schwedick. Starting 5th from Hagersville, the 8 is Ryan Dinning, and starting 6th from Port Robinson, the 108Z is Zach Bleach. Starting 7th from Ohsweken, the 24 is Blake Bombury Jr., and starting 8th from Canfield, the 32 is Mark Fawcett. Rounding out the field from Guelph in the 79, it's Christopher Hale. You think Greg got in any trouble for that run last week in the 79? Melissa Miller in that 93, little sluggish off the start there, so it has been allowed to carry on from the looks of it. Logan Schwedick in the 53, some smoke out the back end of that black 53, but he's challenging Rob Hoskins for the lead.
It doesn't seem to be hurting him at all. He's got plenty of horsepower. He draws up alongside Rob Hoskins. They go down into corner number 1, and smoke getting heavier out of the 53 of Logan Schwedick, but he tucks up in front as the leader, and here comes Mark Bazine with a good run off of corner 2.
Well, Rob Hoskins had to bite the brakes to avoid the 53 machine. Now he's having to work up the banking to avoid the Burger Barn 21 of Bazine. He'll settle into third just ahead of Ryan Dinning.
Mark Bazine making the comment this week on Facebook that they really thought they were making some gains on this machine, and here he is right now running second in a very solid, strong-looking second place as these top 3 now are being joined by Ryan Dinning, who would love to have a good run here tonight.
Dinning is definitely due for a good run, and this battle at the back of the field is amazing. Blake Bombery out in front of Fawcett, Miller, Bleach, and Hale.
Yeah, you see Bombery there in the purple 24, Fawcett right behind him. Melissa Miller, our pole sitter, back there with Zach Bleach, and Chris Hale will make it 3 wide off of corner 4.
Oh, things getting skinny off of turn 4. Bleach, Hale, and Miller rubbing their way down the front straightaway.
Back at the front, Schwedick leading the way, and it's a 3-car battle behind him with Hoskins, Bazine, and Dinning. Hoskins in that white Trans Am, number 37. Bazine back there in the 3rd spot in the Burger Barn 21. And Ryan Dinning working the inside line on Bazine in that 8.
Yeah, Dinning working the bottom of the racetrack, and that's reminiscent. We've watched him win a lot of races working that exact line on the bottom, able to figure out when to throw the throttle to it and get off with a good head of steam.
2 laps left to go here in this second qualifying heat of 3 for the Middleport Mechanical Thunder Stock Division. Logan Schwedick's been laying down heavy smoke since the drop of the green flag, but hasn't slowed him down at all. He sails it down to the white flag as he leads over Rob Hoskins, Ryan Dinning, and Mark Bazine.
Still that same amount of smoke out the back of Logan Schwedick's car. It's definitely not costing him any speed, but he leads the way down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Kyle McKenzie ready to throw the checkers, and he does. Logan Schwedick going to take the win over Rob Hoskins, Ryan Dinning, Mark Bazine, Blake Bombery, Mark Fawcett, Christopher Hale, Zach Bleach, and Melissa Miller.
Still one more qualifier to go for the Middleport Mechanical Thunder Stock Division here on Club 54 Racing Night at the Speedway. My name is Greg Kellman, with me, Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey down trackside. I arbitrarily just use that is here and there.
I did just things that I noticed, Greg, you know. If I didn't comment on them, like, they would make my head explode. Shout out to Emily Taylor Bond, who just graduated high school, and tonight she's cheering on the 52 of Jesse Costa and the 5D of Jacob Dykstra. I'm sorry, here you can only choose one per division. Valve cover, says Brian Kalinowski. You may be right. Heat race number 3, fresh off another win, this time down at Humberstone last week. From Caister Center, the 28D is Donnie Lampman. On the outside of row number 1, also from Caister Center, because I believe they live in the same house, the 28 is Jim Lampman. Starting third from Hagersville, the 23 is Trevor DeBoer. Alongside him from Hamilton, the 25 is Ken Sargent. Starting fifth from Victoria, the 84 RK is Ryan Beagle, and alongside him from Hagersville, the 49 is Dave Bailey. Rounding out the field, the 74H from Dunville is Devin Habiak, and out of Hamilton, the 43C is Clinton Nichols.
Green in the air, the Lampmans will lead us down into corner 1 this first time around as Ken Sargent right on the back bumper of Jim Lampman. Oh, they just about made it 3 wide. Now Jim Lampman squirts away off of corner 2.
Down the back straightaway they go with Jim Lampman out in front. Donnie Lampman pedaling on the inside. Man, they closed the gap into the corner. Donnie Lampman drove as deep as Kenny Sargent. They all drove deeper than Jim Lampman did, so they had to roll out of the throttle to avoid making contact. Here comes Trevor DeBoer.
Trevor DeBoer on the bottom, and in the middle, Ken Sargent, Jim Lampman on the outside there as they go into 3 now. It's Sargent with a good run here on Jim Lampman. The 2 Camaros side by side. They got Trevor DeBoer along in the mix in a Camaro as well. And then Donnie Lampman, who picked up his first win 2 weeks ago, right there in that Monte Carlo, right in the thick of it.
What a battle. The top 5 cars. Now, this is a handicap division. Our fender divisions are handicap, Clinton, so this, we are allowed to say, is the fast car heat.
And Ken Sargent will lead that lap over Trevor DeBoer, but on the outside, Jim Lampman digging back to the outside of DeBoer. They work off a corner 2. It's Sargent, DeBoer, side by side between Lampman and Bailey. And then here comes Donnie Lampman and Ryan Beagle into the middle of this as well. And looks like I'll be announcing for a while as Tiny's Treats has made its way here into the tower, Adam.
I'm eating ice cream. Call me in a minute. What a great race. Ken Sargent out in front. Trevor DeBoer tried to hold off Dave Bailey, but I think he just poked the bear. And Bailey fighting his way up to second. Ken Sargent going into 3 with a bit of a push.
Off a corner 4 they work. Ken Sargent leads over Dave Bailey and Trevor DeBoer. Good battle here at the front. This is exactly what we expect to see come feature time, as we always do in this division. Always so entertaining. Sargent, then behind him, side by side. Bailey, Bailey, something went wrong. He went up into DeBoer, and both cars up into the high side of corner 3. Both will get back on track. I don't know what happened between the two. It might be a right front down for Dave Bailey.
Yeah, if I had to guess, that's what happened. Wow. And he took Trevor DeBoer up the track with him, which is, I believe, what cut the right front to begin with, was contact with Trevor DeBoer at a turn 4 a couple laps ago. And Dave Bailey is really cheap. He's going to be ticked off if he cut a tire and has to buy a new one.
Ken Sargent now leading over Ryan Beagle, who got by Jim Lampman into that second spot, so put Lampman back to 3rd. Donnie Lampman running in 4th. As we come to the checkers, picking up the win, it's going to be Ken Sargent over Ryan Beagle, Jim Lampman, Donnie Lampman. Then it's Steve Vanderzanden in the 74. And then Trevor DeBoer will be the final car to cross the line with Dave Bailey over in the pit area.
So if you're in the grandstands watching the races, jump on our Facebook feed. Send us a picture of where you're sitting, where you like to sit. Send us a picture of your favorite driver. Daryl Knight just made a comment. This is a loaded heat. 4 feature winners so far this season. And that's how the heats work in the mini stocks and the thunder stocks, is all those fast cars are going to wind up in the last heat together. It makes things real entertaining.
First of 3 qualifying heats coming out onto the speedway for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars, our 360 cubic inch sprint car division. Starting on the pole in heat race number 1 from Scotland in the Total Rentals Ackland Insurance Ties Tree Service car number 87X. That'll be Sean Evans. Going from the second spot in the Ohsweken Speedway Renway Energy Case IH car number 0. This is the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Jim Hoopinen in his second week of competition for Glenn Stiers Racing. Going from position number 3 out of Charing Cross in the ARW Contracting car number 9B, it's Scott Burke. And going from 4th out of Thedford, Ontario in the Coldwell Banker Jennifer Hatch Tim's Lawn Care car number 5D, this is Shane Ross. Going from 5th out of Ontario, New York, aboard car number 69, the Prestige Pool. Car number 69, that'll be Steve Glover. And going alongside him from the 6th position from Simcoe in the Gales Auto Aftermarket 21, that'll be John Burbridge Sr. tonight. John Burbridge Sr. listed as the driver of the 21 here tonight. Going from the 7th spot out of Scotland, driving the Sovereign Fusion, Original Traders Energy, Burford Heating and Air Conditioning, 47X, D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. And going from the 8th spot from Verona, New York, in car number 67, that'll be Pete Richardson in the Prestige Pool and Spa, number 67. Starting at 9th, he had troubles in the hot lap session, driving the Charlie B. Honey, Pius Spring and Alignment, Braemar Buildings 11. It'll be Jamie Turner. So Jamie Turner gets that car number 11 back together. Also with support from Mudcat Entertainment Center. So Sean Evans and Jim Hoopinen will bring us to the green flag here in the first of 3 qualifying heats for our 360 Sprint Car Division, brought to you by Cool Kids Ice and Water and Core Pack Merchandising.
Jim Hoopinen looked more comfortable in practice this week than he did all race night last week. Did you notice that?
Yeah, you could tell he was trying to get adjusted. He had some seat time Saturday night down at Merrittville Speedway for the Southern Ontario Sprints event down there. So he should really be locked and loaded, ready to go here in that number 0 for Glenn Stiers Racing. Sean Evans, oh baby, what a save by Sean Evans. He still doesn't have it under control.
Wow, that's some bite right there. If we got that on camera, that is going to make highlight reels for years to come. Holy moly.
Shane Ross leads lap number 2 over Jim Hoopinen and settled down in the 3rd spot. Sean Evans.
Steve Glover up the racetrack off of turn number 2. John Burbridge had a run, but Dylan Westbrook had a better run, drives it to the inside. Wow, that was a slide job by Westbrook over Steve Glover.
All sorts of bite for the 47X as well. You see the left front hopping up on that machine for D-Dubs. Out in front, Shane Ross leading the way over Jim Hoopinen. Right behind them in the 3rd spot, Sean Evans, who's caught his breath, settled back down. Jamie Turner having a really good run. He's worked all the way up to 4th after starting in 9th.
That's definitely a good run. Look at this battle down in 1 and 2. Shane Ross on the inside. Jim Hoopinen powering down the back straightaway. He'll sweep to the outside in the 0. Can he get him back?
Yeah, the Red Rocket will get by with 2 laps left to go, but here comes Shane Ross digging back down to the inside line. Back into corner 3 they go, side by side for the lead.
What a battle in this qualifying heat for the 360 sprints. They head under the white flag. One more lap. Who's it going to be?
Here comes Jim Hoopinen, 2-time champion of this division, scoots to the outside of Shane Ross. Ross, though, digging on the inside line. Off a corner 4, Hoopinen squeezes it to the wall. No room for him, and Ross will take the win over Hoopinen.
Ross left almost enough room, but the way that car was pitched, Hoopinen wisely chose to roll out of the throttle there. If that was a feature race, I think we would have seen a little bit different reaction from Jim Hoopinen. But
can we go back and just watch that entire heat race?
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Wow. Here comes the replay for Sean Evans off of corner 1. I mean, he was ready to launch to the moon at one point there.
Goodness gracious, 3 times. Show that again. If you can show that one more time, I want to see it again.
Again, if you have your smartphones, you can watch on our Facebook feed, YouTube as well. As Sean Evans, nope, looks like we're not going to get another look at that, but Sean Evans, oh, here it is. Here it is.
Down into 3 and 4, the car was just perfect, almost spins out.
He's on one wheel.
There was a point I think all 4 tires had come off the ground. It was just standing on the tail tank.
He didn't wreck the car, Nathan, but I think he wrecked a pair of boxer briefs in the process of that.
Absolutely.
One. Second qualifying heat coming out onto the speedway, starting from the pole out of Lewiston, New York. In the G&J Contracting 81 is Derek Jonathan. Alongside him, the winner 1 week ago from Mississauga, driving the Car Star Brantford Ackland Insurance Ripshot, number 17X, the highlight man, Mac DeMann. Going from the 3rd position out of Beamsville in the Part Source car number 88H, also brought to you by J&E Recovery. That is Josh Hansen and his Outside the Car Quest Auto Parts. Brown Auto Service, number 10, that is downtown Mitch Brown from Brantford. Starting 5th out of Thamesford in the Vipon Dowler car number 45, that is Curtis Gartley. And going from the 6th position from Caister Center in the Burger Barn Ohsweken Construction Mobile 1, number 13, it'll be Corey Turner. Going from 7th from Carlisle in the Nitro 54 variety MMBO Direct Marketing, car number 9 is Steve Lyons. And going from the 8th and final position from Caister Center in the body line, Total Coatings, number 46, that'll be Kevin Pauls.
Remind me to tell you of how a wheelie cost Dylan Westbrook $5,000.
It's a wheelie good story. Boy, that was corny. Green flag out on this field, the second qualifying heat for a 360 sprint cars, as Derek Jonathan tries to hold off Mac DeMann, but the highlight man shoots by into 3.
How happy is Mac DeMann going to be with his foot to the floor, not having to worry about where the car is going to bounce to? Derek Jonathan, though, giving a good run on the inside in that 81 machine. Great battle in the opening laps.
Derek Jonathan hanging with Mac Demand. Now Demand will break free off of corner number 4 and lead lap number 2 as they go down into corners 1 and 2. Really good run for Derek Jonathan, working that inside line.
Absolutely carrying a ton of speed. As I say that, he lost a little bit there in 3 and 4, but Derek Jonathan showed up to race here tonight.
Caution flag out on the speedway as Kyle McKenzie waves the yellow flag. And I believe there is yet debris right up in the middle of corner 1. Safety crew getting up there. A side panel off of Steve Lyons' nose wing.
I thought we had this conversation last week. We were going to do away with the term debris or stuff. It's a stuff yellow.
Nose wing problems for Mitch Brown as well. In the 10, we can see his nose wing laying down flat.
Clinton, what's going on in the pits?
I'm over here in turn 3 and 4 right now. Just going to chime in on this. Steve Lyons has lost the side of his front wing as well. So we think that's the cause of the debris. Doug is trying to determine that. And we'll see if that is the cause.
Yep, it was the MMBO Direct Marketing logoage on the side of that wing panel there that was picked up by the safety crew. MMBO Direct Marketing worked with us here at the Speedway. They're the ones that put on our kids race events here in support of the Canadian National Autism Foundation. And they've teamed up with Steve Lyons, and they got a little bit extra TV time tonight.
Well, it just came over the one-way radio. Steve in the 9. The debris is your caution. You will have to go tail. So we'll see Kevin Pauls move around the 9 right now. And tough break for Steve Lyons. We will see. And you guys are absolutely right. Mac's got to be pleased. The outside lane, the track crew's done a great job. We've got a good top that they can really hammer around, but lots of bite on the bottom for the guys who want to work the inside and use the feather technique. They've got a lot of bite off the inside. So good equal groups here in the track in the early going tonight.
Back under the green flag, Mac Demand mashes the throttle and beats everyone to the corner by about 6 car lengths. Derek Jonathan holding on to the second spot. Here comes Mitch Brown. He has the nose wing damage, but it's not slowing him down at all.
Mitch Brown in that 3rd spot, but Derek Jonathan carrying more speed off the corner. Halfway through this heat, 4 laps down, 4 laps to go.
Mac Demand checking out, picked up his first feature win of the season 1 week ago. His 2nd career win in the 360 Sprint Car Division. And looks like he's really got things under control here again tonight.
Corey Turner just threw not really a slide job, just took away Josh Hansen's line. I want to see if Hansen does the same back to him coming off of 4, and he does. He let the car come up. He didn't see how Corey Turner had bobbled there, but nice back and forth for position between the 13 of Corey Turner and the 88 of Josh Hansen.
Mac Demand works around the slower car of Kevin Pauls to the white flag with Derek Jonathan 2nd, Mitch Brown right now 3rd, Corey Turner holds down 4th, Josh Hansen doing everything he can going up top, trying to get around Corey for 4th.
He wants to beat Corey Turner. You can feel it.
Checkers out.
Demand takes the win. Derek Jonathan with a good run coming home 2nd, Mitch Brown 3rd, Corey Turner 4th, Josh Hansen 5th. And it may sound stupid because obviously he wants to beat him. That's what race car drivers do. But when someone makes a move on you that think, they shouldn't have done that, they should have left me a lane, you can almost see it. A driver gets that, and Hansen has spun it out in 3 and 4, but a driver gets in his mind they want that spot back, and you can almost see them driving the car harder.
So 2 qualifying heats into the books for the 360 Sprint Car Division. 3rd and final on its way out onto the Speedway in a moment as they get Josh Hansen's Part Source Auto Parts number 88H turned back around and to the pit area. Been an impressive rookie so far here in the 360 Sprint Car Division. No big surprise because the moment he came onto the scene in the Crate Sprint Car Division, Josh was an instant success and looking very stout here with the 360s. 3rd and final qualifying heat making its way out onto the Speedway, going from the pole out of Dorchester, Ontario. Driving the Case IH Renway Energy Ohsweken Speedway. Number 1, it's Holly Porter. Alongside in the 2nd starting spot from Waterdown, Ontario, driving car number 0C, sponsored by Tammy 10 Media and Corpac Merchandising. It'll be Cole McDonald. Cole McDonald going 2nd. Starting in position number 3 in the DVC Contracting, car number 71S from Port Colborne, it's Sean Slider. And going from position number 4 tonight in the Case IH Renway Energy Aero Express, car number 68, Aaron Turkey. Starting in position number 5 out of Alden, New York, in the Burzak Enterprises, Fiberworks Composite, car number 49H, the straight shooter, Scott Kruder, and alongside, going from the 6th spot out of Dunville, Ontario, in the Kingpin Farms, Burger Barn Racing 91, it's Ryan Turner. Starting in 7th out of Ohsweken, in the Nitro 54 variety, Ackland Insurance number 15, that'll be Dan Nanakoke, and going from the 8th and final starting spot in the Hills Tire and Gas, Brown Auto Service, Little Bend 110, it is Jake Brown. 8 cars, 8 laps, 3rd and final qualifying heat for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. Thank you for the ice cream, Gary. I'll get to it here eventually. I had to let Adam get his in first.
He's got to choke it back, right?
You can eat all that?
I haven't even sniffed it yet. Leave it alone.
50-50 tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, guaranteed $750 tonight. Make sure it happens. Get it up there, $750. Guaranteed the payout tonight minimum. Look for the sellers in your pink shirts.
Going green this time, Holly Porter on the inside, Cole McDonald on the outside, taking their time coming to the start line.
And Holly Porter will break away from the pack down into corner number 1 and lead down through 2 as she brings Aaron Turkey, teammate, along with her.
Ryan Turner with a good run to the inside of Scott Kruder, and he has to take evasive action over Aaron Turkey, who got real sideways heading into 3.
Scott Kruder on a mission here tonight after being taken out by a lap car 1 week ago. Back at it here and looking for some redemption as he works to the inside of Aaron Turkey in 3 and 4.
How about Cole McDonald in that 0C contending for the lead with Holly Porter? Porter running the bottom of the racetrack. That's kind of a Holly Porter line down there. Cole McDonald a little higher on the track, but doing a great job in second as Scott Kruder clears Aaron Turkey in that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Cole McDonald looking really stout up there in that 2nd position, but here comes Scott Kruder as he works off of corner 2 with a head of steam down the backstretch. He'll close the gap on 2nd.
He'll look to the inside of Cole McDonald through 3 and 4, slip past that 0C and slide up in front for the 2nd spot.
It's Holly Porter right now leading over Scott Kruder. Cole McDonald holding on in 3rd. Aaron Turkey 4th. Ryan Turner to 5th. Jake Brown right now running 6th. Dan Nanakote 7th. And Sean Slider in 8th.
Cole McDonald didn't lay over once Kruder went by. He actually mounted a challenge in the next turn, but now he's got a problem up there in turn 2. That allows Aaron Turkey to get by on the bottom.
2 laps left to go for Holly Porter, but the gap is closing as here comes Scott Kruder. Works it right around the rim in corner number 2 and will draw up closer down the backstretch, really getting some good horsepower in the straightaways.
Completely contrasting lines. Holly Porter down low, Scott Kruder up high. One more lap.
Here comes the straight shooter, works it off at corner 2, now looks down low as they go down towards corner 3. Tips it back up top, around to the outside of Porter, coming to the checkered flag. Porter has the lead, Kruder will finish in 2nd.
Good racing in the sprint car division tonight. Turkey 3rd, Turner 4th, McDonald 5th, then it's Jake Brown, Slider, and Dan Nanakoke.
So Holly Porter picks up the win. The Case IH Aero Express Ohsweken Speedway number 1 as we get ready for the first of our mini stock qualifying heats. 4 in total here tonight. Another great field for the HRW Automotive Mini Stock Division.
Well, guys, time for a quick Case IH track report here in the middle of turns 3 and 4. You've got a couple of different lines. Up here in the middle top groove, it is very hard packed. You can see the guys have packed it in. The big change is going on in the bottom here. It's moist down here on the inside. You can see the sprint cars. They cause these kind of flaps of clay to come up, and they get thrown up into the groove, and then they get packed down and become little clods and stuff. But the big issue here, you can still see a lot of moisture. A lot of this track is still going to change as we get throughout the night, guys. So the bottom's still being worked on, but this is going to put a lot of bite in the track come tonight.
Thank you very much, Clinton. Mini stock racing time. First qualifying heat going from the pole in the 517 from Caledonia. That is Cody Somerville to the outside in car number 88, the Simcoe Dairy Queen Atkins Financial 88. That'll be Aiden Nye. Going from position number 3, it's the pinball, Mike Iverson. out of Caledonia. And alongside him in the fourth starting spot in the RWT, transportation number 19, T, that is Trevor Want. Going from the fifth starting position, the Summertime Spray Foam car number 16J, it's Jeremy May. And alongside, going from position number 6 in the Bell Camp Manufacturing number 54, back with the hatchback here tonight, Christopher French. Going from 7th, it'll be Brian Crosgrove from Hamilton in the R&B Sprinklers number 96. And I believe Tim Newell is joining the tail this one. Didn't have him in our lineup, but Tim Newell looks to be tagging on to the back end of this qualifying heat.
Clint, we got a question about Mike Thorne asking if he's in the house tonight, if he's racing. I know his dad is going in for some surgery. I thought I saw their truck and trailer roll in. So if you can follow up on that, we'll get ready to call this mini stock qualifying heat.
Green flag in the air, and Aiden Nye will lead them down into corner one with Trevor Want right behind him. Jeremy May able to get up in there to the third spot as the pole sitter Cody Somerville with troubles.
Yeah, Somerville did not come up to speed. Mike Giberson paid the price for that, running behind him as they are now last and second last on the field. Out in front, it's Aiden Nye over Trevor Want. Then there's a battle between Jeremy May and the 16J and the 54 of Christopher French.
Nye works it off of corner 2 with Want in second. Then it's May and Christopher French up there to the fourth spot. He's been going back and forth between the hatchback. I don't know what kind of car is this. Would it be a Honda? I'm not sure what it is. But anyways, he's this car and the Mustang, which we've seen him in for the last number of years.
Yeah, I can't identify these cars either. Aiden Nye out in front by about 10-12 car lengths over Trevor Want, running in the second spot. Jeremy May and that 16J closing the gap on the second place Trevor Want. He'll look to the inside down the front stretch.
Side by side for second as Jeremy May works to the inside of Trevor Want. Christopher French tucked back in behind along with Tim Newell. Good battle up there amongst the top 5. The leader checking out Aiden Nye right now in that 88 machine.
I don't think Aiden Nye is doing a whole lot of lifting right now. That's when that rear-wheel drive car, you lean on that right rear through the turn, and with this much bite in the racetrack, it can take it.
This time by, we'll see the white flag from Kyle McKenzie as Aiden Nye will lead the lap. Good battle there for second. Trevor Want, Jeremy May, door to door as they work it off the corner. Jeremy May's had all sorts of horrible luck this year. Nothing has gone right for him, and here he is challenging for Trevor Want.
As you said that, He almost crashed in turn 1.
I'm thinking, what am I doing talking about him? I know better.
Last time at a turn 4, Aiden Nye going to take the win.
Yep. Sorry, Jeremy. I won't mention you again. Trevor Want comes home in second. Christopher French third. Tim Newell fourth. Brian Crosgrove fifth. Sixth will be the pinball Mike Giberson. It'll be Cody Somerville. And I'm sorry, Jeremy May.
Ford Focus is what I'm being told is the 54 of Christopher French, and no longer Greg Calden's friend is what we will now refer to Jeremy May as.
I was going to say, I know who's off the May family Christmas list this year. Boy.
I don't believe in luck or anything like that, but every time I talk about Jeremy May, this happens.
Well, I never believed in the announcer's curse either, but it happens all the time. Okay, guys, so I'll get over this here so Sean can take a look at it. It has ripped the entire center out of the wheel. So, Sean, if you can get on me up here, you'll see the whole entire center section has gone out of the wheel, which means it's broken this whole center piece out where the lugs would go.
Which is an easy fix because the lugs should still be on the piece of wheel that's left. So you pull the lugs off, pull that piece of wheel, and hopefully there's another one.
I was going to say, easy fix. How do you fix this wheel?
Yeah, well, that's the easy thing. You throw it into the pond.
Well, the tire's still good, so.
Yeah, that's ecologically friendly.
Jeremy, Merry Christmas. Here's your tire back. We were having fun at your expense. Greg was talking about when you almost had the incident in turn 1. Said, I know better to talk about Jeremy, and then this happens here. Do you believe in the announcer's curse?
No, but if we didn't have bad luck this year, we wouldn't have any luck.
It's got to change sooner or later, though.
I'm sure hoping, because this is getting really tiring.
Well, we'd like to see you smile a bit more, Jeremy. And there you can hear he's dejected again, guys. For no lack of effort, they have built that car and brought it back every single week, but hasn't had the luck they needed.
Greg, I don't mind you talking to me, but please never talk about me. So I'm worried of what might happen.
That Adam Ross, he's never missed a Friday night. I hope he doesn't make it next Friday. I hope he does. So we'll get a look at Jeremy May's car as he comes across the stripe, and you name it, he's had that problem this year. It's just been one thing after another, and the tough part is we like to talk drivers up when they're having a good run, and it seems like, okay, they've got the monkey off their back, and you want to see Jeremy succeed, and then it just happens again, and we end up with egg on our face.
Well, we got a moment to talk about Rivals. Adam, Rivals, racerivals.com is the newest wagering option you've got here for our favorite sport of auto racing in Ontario, and especially here at Ohsweken Speedway. It's been interesting, Adam, to see everybody get on and play quickly before they get to turn one. What do folks need to know about racerivals.com?
Well, they need to know that the pools are already open for next Friday. There's also a couple of free rolls going on. The NASCAR Cup race at Daytona, UFC fights next week. But what they need to know is go to racerivals.com. That's Race Rivals with a Z, and sign up. It is all sorts of fun, Clinton. You and I have had a lot of fun, and I don't know if you got a chance to see the Facebook post, but I found out what my part of our little wager is going to be, and we can talk about that Wednesday night when we go online live.
Sounds great. Give us the lineup. Getting ready to roll.
Jason Tolton goes from the pole in the vacuum trucks in number 1. Alongside him, Paul Longboat in the 188. Inside of row number 2, Sean F. Toddy in the Savona Services 15. Cheeseburger there. And Daniel McKay alongside him in the 4th starting position. Then we've got the Gaylor Equipment Kubota 16 and Fabio Oliveri alongside him from Dundas in the Cal Tire 69. It's Rob Twitchett. Then we've got Jonathan Ayrton in the 21 and the 265 of Mike Evers. And Mike Evers moved very quickly from that back row up to 3rd. Out in front, Jason Tolton, Paul Longboat, and Mike Evers going at it. Tolton had to gather it back up off of 4.
Microphone on, works better. Some tight racing out here. Fabio Oliveri in 4th in that 16. He clears the Mackey number 13, McKay. I don't know why I always question that. Top 4 now pulling away as Sean F. Toddy, whatever problem he had on that race car, seems to have sorted itself out as Mike Evers almost goes around in the corner.
Evers will tuck back in behind Jonathan Ayrton. Top 3 single file right now. Paul Longboat, Jason Tolton, and Fabio Oliveri. And then it's 3 wide behind them. And for Cheeseburger, Sean F. Toddy, another situation where he's either up at the front going for the win, or he's struggling to stay inside a transfer spot. Right now, he's right up there.
Rob Twitchett in that 69 machine, bringing up the tail now that Mike Evers has peeled his way off into the pits in that number 265. 2 laps to go.
2 more circuits around for Paul Longboat, one of the graduates from our Bomber division. He's done a nice job making his move into the mini stocks. Jason Tolton back there in 2nd. Fabio Oliveri riding along in 3rd. Nose to tail. Here comes Tolton. He'll look low off of corner 4 to the white flag.
1 more lap to go. Tolton now going to tuck back in line. Rob Twitchett to the inside of Jonathan Ayrton for position. That's for the 5th spot. A little bit deeper, but I believe that's the qualify spot if he can make that pass stick. Up at the front, Jamieson still trying to hold off. Tolton in the 1 and Fabio Oliveri in the 16.
Checkers out. Paul Longboat will pick up the win.
Did I just call him Tim Jamieson?
I don't know. I never listened to you.
Fair point.
Longboat the winner over Jason Tolton. Fabio Oliveri 3rd. Followed by Cheeseburger, Sean F. Toddy, Jonathan Ayrton, Rob Twitchett, and Daniel McKay. 2nd qualifying heat coming out for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Make that heat race number 3 on its way out. This guy is going to be in line for the Hard Luck Award as well with Jeremy May. I would think Cole Hardy on the pole out of Welland in the Rona of St. Catharines Fort Erie. Car number 7C. Zach Buchwald will line up on the outside of him in car number 10. He's from Simcoe. Martin Schroeder will go from spot number 3 in this third qualifying heat, and the Hawkins Electric number 60. And Kevin Thorne in the Burger Barn, Ohsweken Construction number 360. He's from Caledonia. He'll go 4th. 5th from Dunnville in the 16T is Jason Thompson. And from the 6th starting position from Hamilton in the Hallett Home Improvements, car number 93. That tonight is Andy Reichman from Hamilton. Going 7th out of Waterford in the Buchwald Landscape, number 46, it's Wade Thorne. And starting 8th from Waterdown in the Gibbs Action Sports, Let's Landscape, Leggett Chevrolet 01, Tristan De Silva. Again, 50-50 ticket sellers going through the stands with the pink T-shirts. Flag them down. Get in on tonight's 50-50 draw. The second from final feature winner tonight will draw the winning number, and that will be tonight's 360 Sprint Car feature winner. So get in on tonight's 50-50 draw here at the Speedway.
That was as slow a pace lap as you will find. Cole Hardy out in front, Schroeder to the outside in the 60. He'll take the lead. Thorne going to follow him through in that Burger Barn 360. Zach Buchwald holding on to 4th. Wade Thorne back in the 5th spot, and Tristan De Silva in the 01 looking to make his way forward.
Martin Schroeder will lead the lap over Thorne and Hardy. Wade Thorne back there in that 4th spot up on the podium 1 week ago, and Wade's one of those guys that I don't think he gets enough credit for how solid he is in this division. He really is one of the heavy contenders.
Yeah, good runner, consistent runner in that 46, consistently fast, Greg, as Tristan De Silva and Buchwald almost make contact out of turn 4.
Wade right now comes into tonight 5th place in the points. Tristan De Silva, who's also in this group in the second qualifier, he right now 3rd in points. A great season so far for the sophomore driver in that 01.
Steady runs for Tristan De Silva and that Let's Landscape Together sponsored 01 machine as he's still battling side by side with Buchwald. Now will drive to the inside of Cole Hardy.
Out in front, Kevin Thorne and Martin Schroeder exchange spots. Put Kevin Thorne at the top of the board for Martin Schroeder. Then you've got Wade Thorne back there in position 3. Cole Hardy 4th. 5th right now De Silva. 6th is Buchwald. 7th Reichman. And 8th is Jason Thompson.
De Silva hasn't been able to run his line this entire race. He's been making moves. Now he's finally got a little bit of racetrack to work with, so he's going to climb up the banking and work the outside as Cole Hardy looks to go to the inside of Wade Thorne down the back straightaway.
With the white flag this time by for Kevin Thorne in the Burger Barn Ohsweken Construction 360. Works it off the corner and down across the stripe. Schroeder there in 2nd. And the fight is on for 3rd. Wade Thorne, Cole Hardy, and Tristan De Silva all right there.
Anybody's race between those 3, and Zach Buchwald right in the mix as well. So if something should happen, Buchwald will be right there to capitalize. They work through 3 and 4 for the final time. Kevin Thorne going to take the heat race win. Schroeder going to come home 2nd. Wade Thorne 3rd, 4th to De Silva, 5th to Cole Hardy, 6th is Buchwald. Reichman is 7th, and Thompson is 8th.
Well, guys, just got to report the 188. I believe it was Paul Longboat tonight. Light at the scales. He will not get his qualified position.
Bummer.
So in case you're new here, folks, you do have to weigh minimum weight for every division you race in. Each division has its own minimum weight, and that would be with the car and driver post-race. So we did not make the minimum weight required after the heats.
So he will have to go from the back of one of the B mains here shortly.
Heat race number 4 for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks on the pole. It's Mike Sirentakos in the Lampman Salvage 6X. He's from Smithville. Alongside him, the rookie sensation from New Hamburg in the Cobra Trucking. Number 21H, Ryan Hiller. Going from 3rd out of York in the Timson Auto car number 9, it's Tim DeBoard. Alongside out of Ohsweken, the 177 is Tim Jameson. Starting in position number 5 in the Timpson Auto. Number 23, it's Dusty DeBoer from Hagersville. And going from 6th, the current point leader out of Ancaster. 3 wins this season for the Eccles Auto Service 19, Kyle Wirt. Starting 7th from Brantford, it's Lightning Tom Cole in the 6R. Going from 8th, it'll be Aaron Decker in car number 6. And Brent Walker, who was here last week, the 6W from Chatham, will start at the tail.
And then I believe that's Aiden Maynard in the 20.
Yeah, who was here with us a week ago. So Aaron Decker now in the former Jason Dixon mini stock. Ken Hamilton was aboard that car 1 week ago.
Top 6 have pulled away from the field. Hiller out in front, Sarantako second. Then is Tim DeBoer in a side-by-side battle with Kyle Wirt on the outside in that green and white number 19, and Dusty DeBoer on the inside in the blue and white 23.
Tim DeBoer in that 9 car comes into tonight's second place in points. He's 26 points behind the leader, and the leader is right now right behind him. Kyle Wirt in the number 19 is the point leader. 3 wins this year, 4 top 5s and 5 starts here in 2019.
Pretty solid start for Kyle Wirt. The nicest fire suit on the circuit. That thing's fancy.
He's got his eating britches on. Ryan Hiller pulling away from the field, and we've already noted this several times this year, but he has just been smooth, steady, and very impressive. Looks like a veteran out there in that 21H.
Kyle Wirt almost ran himself out of racetrack down in turn 3, went way up almost to where the banking ends, but he was able to gather it back in. He'll drive into 1 and 2 on the very bottom, but not going to be able to clear Tim DeBoer.
DeBoer to the outside of Kyle Wirt, the 2 title contenders going at it down in corner number 3. This time to the white flag. Here they come side by side for second. They're doubled up behind them as well with Sarantakos and Dusty DeBoer.
A lot of positions still to be decided in this one. Hiller out in front, Tim DeBoer pulling away from Kyle Wirt through turn 2, but we're going to gobble that distance down the back straightaway through 3 and 4 for the final time. Hiller going to cruise home to the win. Wirt looking to the inside of DeBoer. He's not going to do it. DeBoer second, Wirt third, Sarantakos fourth, Dusty DeBoer fifth. Then it's Tim Jamieson in sixth.
Qualifying heats wrapped up for the evening. You see the right front gone on Brent Walker's 6W. Some debris to the high side. Oh, sorry. What am I supposed to call it? Stuff. To the high side of corner number 4. Race car particles. B mains for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Last chance to get into the show, and as we've seen over the last few weeks, Adam, these have been the most important races of the evening because it's so tough to get into the Crate Sprint Car A main.
You are absolutely right. And here's how the lineup on the pole from Caledonia. The 88 NRAM Dynamics car is Jesse McDonald. On the outside of row 1, the Canada Fuels number 9C from Ohsweken, it's Brian Nanakoke. The Insta panels. Number 10 from Oakland, it's Lofton Schutz, and the Victory Games. Number 38 from Ohsweken, it's Derek Miller. Starting in 5th in the NRAM Dynamics, number 83 from Scotland is Spencer Davis, and in 6th, the Hallett Home Improvements, number 51 from Ancaster, it's Trevor Young. The Galetta Flooring, number 22 junior out of St. Catharines is Alan Galetta. The Insta Installation, number 24A from Stony Creek is A.J. Lewis. Rounding out the field in the Ken's Auto 69K from Brantford, it's Jason Dixon. That's how they line up in B main number 1. Top 2 finishers transfer to tonight's feature event. Good day from Australia to Brian Willert. This would be fun to wake up to, wouldn't it, Greg?
I don't think I'd ever want to wake up next to you, Adam.
Don't forget 50-50 tickets, folks. Guaranteed $750 is the take home tonight. That's a minimum. It can easily go over. Last week's was right around 1,000, so make sure you pick up your 50-50 tickets from the sellers in the pink shirts.
Leave it to Clinton to rescue us from that awkward situation, Greg Callan. The jerk store called. They're all out of you.
Out of you. Wow. Two B mains for the crate sprints. We'll also have a B main for the Thunder stocks, and the mini stocks will also require some Consi races.
And did A.J. Lewis not make the call for this? This has just been a season to forget.
Yeah, A.J. Lewis has had the struggles mechanically this year that have kept him out, and Lofton Shutt's the same. Now Lofton in this one, the chance to qualify for the A main. And here we go with Jesse McDonald. He's been on the podium this year. Brian Nanakoke has been so good in the qualifying heats and had a really good feature run last week. He's back in the B main. Just tough to get into the A main in this division every week.
Top two get a ticket for tonight's feature event. Everybody else will be headed home after this one.
Green flag goes in the air. They're three wide, headed down at corner one. Nanakoke on the top. McDonald in the middle. Here comes Lofton Schutz in that Insulthane 10, digging deep on Jesse McDonald.
Schutz holding his ground. Jesse McDonald looked like he was trying to pressure him down to the bottom a little bit. Schutz having none of that.
Wow. Brian Nanakoke came so close to the long corner number 4. Great run by him, keeping it a 3-car battle up front.
And a couple of cars behind them. Derek Miller in the 38. Trevor Young in the 51. These guys would like to close in and make that a 5-car battle for those 2 spots. But out in front, Lofton Schutz up on the high side. He's going to lose that lead to Jesse McDonald, but try it back on the outside of 3.
Keeps it up on the high side. Has to dive back down low off of corner number 4. Looks to the inside of the Enrium number 88. As McDonald bobbled just a little in 1. Holds the lead down over Schutz. Nanakoke still right there, but then striking distance to get into one of those 2 transfer spots.
Well, Brian Nanakoke knows exactly what's at stake. He knows where he needs to be to qualify for the feature. And what's worse, he knows he's not there right now. He had a good run through 1 and 2, though that time. Look at how much ground he gains just from 1 good corner. Now he can sense that Lofton Schutz might be coming back to the 9C of Brian Nanakoke because we're halfway through this B main.
McDonald, Schutz, and Nanakoke, your top 3. Trevor Young back there in 3rd. Spencer Davis back there in the 5th spot, as Young is in the 4th spot. 6th right now, Derek Miller, and 7th is the 22 of Alan Galetta, as Jesse McDonald has really begun to stretch things out on Lofton Schutz.
Derek Miller headed to the pits in that 38, and Brian Nanakoke just needs to figure out 3 and 4 as well as he's got 1 and 2. And as I say that, he loses the front end in 1 and 2. He'd been gathering a lot of ground at that end of the racetrack and then giving much of it back up in 3 and 4.
2 laps to go for Jesse McDonald. Over Lofton Schutz, Brian Nanakoke digging, trying to catch that number 10 machine, but so far not able to do it. Didn't get a very good corner 2 that time.
No, he's trying everything that he can. He's got 1 more lap. He's going to need a mistake out of Lofton Schutz. Out front, it's Jesse McDonald by half a straightaway. He can cruise on home at this point, but look at Brian Nanakoke close that gap for 2nd.
Off of corner number 4, checkers out for Jesse McDonald. He'll pick up the B main win, and Lofton Schutz in the Insulthane number 10 will pick up the 2nd and final transfer spot of Brian Nanakoke. Spencer Davis, Trevor Young, and Alan Galetta will all be done for the night, as well as Derek Miller in the 38. So good solid run for Lofton Schutz. He really needed that after we documented the troubles that A.J. Lewis has had, and his teammate Lofton Schutz will drive his way into the A main.
Yeah, he should be pretty happy with that. He will line up on the inside of row 12. 1 more B main to go here in the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprints. Here's how they'll line up on the pole in the 14T out of Hagersville. The Enrium Dynamics 14T is Noelle Teal. On the outside of her from Freelton, the DJD Graphics number 43 is Darren Dryden. Starting 3rd out of Hagersville, the MK8 is Matthew Hill, and alongside him from Woodstock, the 29W is Tyler Ward. Starting 5th from Brampton, the Lifto, number 70MM is Dave McKnight Jr. Alongside him from Waterloo, the 19D is Alan Downey. Starting 7th from Hagersville, the 49H is Jerry Hill, and rounding out the field is scheduled to be the Massage Pro 49L of Lucas Smith.
Well, you touched on it earlier in the night, guys. Jeff Smith, Lucas's dad, is our micro sprint tech director here on Thursday nights now. He told me they had some issues with the car, and then as you've seen the last couple weeks, Lucas has really picked up his game and been in Mr. Transmission victory lane in the top 3 the last 2 weeks. Also, his mom won on Rivals on opening cash night, so congrats, they were happy about that, and her picks helped them get that motor going.
There you go. So Jason Dixon has been tagged to the end of this B main.
Got a few folks watching on YouTube asking whether these are 360s, 410s. These cars right here are our crate motors, and then our top division here, 360 sprint cars.
Slow pace headed to the green from pole setter Noelle Teal. Finally gets on the loud pedal. She'll lead them down into turn 1.
Teal, your leader. Darren Dryden right there in that second position. Matt Hill, Tyler Ward. Ward's been much better here over the last couple of weeks and getting things figured out in that 29W.
I dare say these first 2 laps are the important ones for Lucas Smith in that 49L. He's got to get some of this ground made up on the leaders, but he's right behind a battle with Dave McKnight and Alan Downey.
Well, Teal having a great run here in this B main. She'll lead the lap with Darren Dryden back there in second. Hill, Ward, McKnight, the top 5. Downey 6th. Lucas Smith, winner 1 week ago, back there in that 7th spot. And that's the problem of having an issue in the heat. It puts you all the way to the back of the B main, and that's no easy task to get your way all the way up to second.
That's for sure. Last week, Alan Downey won his B main. This week, he's mired in the back as Dave McKnight mounts a challenge to the inside of Tyler Ward in the 29W, so move McKnight up to that 4th spot.
Cross flags up in the air, 5 in, 5 to go for Noelle Teal and what has been her best outing so far of 2019. Darren Dryden, another rookie there in the Durham Motorsports 43, the DJD graphics machine in that final transfer spot. Matt Hill just 1 spot out, trying to catch those top 2, and he'll be able to catch both of them here in 1 corner as Noelle Teal stops in corner 4. Darren Dryden keeps the foot in the throttle.
Nice save by Darren Dryden. The stakes were high. And Noelle Teal raced a micro sprint last night here at Ohsweken on the small track out back, and she led much of the race until a mistake in turn 3 cost her the win. It is possible a mistake in turn 3 has cost her the win here in this B main tonight.
Well, Noelle Teal says she's all right, just needed to push off. Not sure what happened here with the 14 guys. But she has a long way to go now after being in the prime position.
So remember, I had suggested the first 2 laps were super important for Lucas Smith. He got stuck behind Tyler Ward and Alan Downey and Dave McKnight, and he's still behind them. So to get from 5th, it doesn't look like much distance, but with single file restarts and the cone rule the way we have it, you have to be single file across the lines. We just saw a replay of Noelle Teal looping it down into the turn. Lucas Smith still has his work cut out for him.
He's got the left rear shock hanging off the car after he went by. I could see it. And now, yeah, he's got no left rear on that. So watch the left rear just hump and bounce here for Lucas Smith.
Dave McKnight Jr. in the 70 looking for second spot, but Lucas Smith drives to the inside of that car. What a battle. Dave McKnight, a savvy veteran of asphalt racing, trying to cut his teeth here on the dirt, and he's had his share of trials and tribulations in the early going.
This time by, it'll be 3 laps left to go for Darren Dryden as Dave McKnight goes up and around, up in front of Alan Downey. And the caution flag waves again.
So the difference between you complimenting Jeremy May before his problems and me talking about Dave McKnight just before his is that I had said it had been trials and tribulations for Dave McKnight, and I think he tribulated in turn 3.
Well, McKnight was on it here, just lost the handle, as you mentioned, a veteran of the asphalt, super modified scene, doing good here on the dirt so far, but he'll be the first one to tell you, still a long way to go to catch up with these young kids. The other point to this, Adam, I wanted to jump in and talk about is Lucas Smith with that left rear. So it appears that the bottom of the shock has come loose on the 49L, and it's just flopping around out there, and at speed I could see that he was really bouncing under caution. You could see, yes, it has detached from the bottom mount on the left rear. So Lucas Smith got a lot of speed. The handling is not there. The other thing I want to wrap up is people asking about are these 360 410 or crates. We said they're crates. That basically means it's similar to this Thunderstock street stock motor. It's a complete package you buy in a box. Everybody's got the same, hence the name crates. They can be bought here for about 4,500 Canadian.
And to your point, Clint, there's just not much you can do when it's flopping around like that.
No, we've talking about a few things there, and yeah, there's nothing he can do. Lucas Smith has just to try and muscle through this one, and hopefully Darren Dryden and Matt Hill, 2 other drivers who have struggled a little bit more than he has in 2019, will give him the spot he needs.
50-50 sellers still going through the stands. Get in on tonight's draw. Again, tonight's 360 feature winner will draw the winning number tonight.
So I'm not sure why Dave McKnight was put ahead of Noel Teal and Jason Dixon there, but probably not an issue with such little racing left to come. Darren Dryden leads the way over Matthew Hill, Lucas Smith in that 49. Alan Downey in the 19, all of them looking for that top 2 finish.
Back under power, here they go. Lucas Smith trying to manhandle this car to a transfer spot, and he does. Alan Downey goes high in corner 1. Can he keep? No, he can't keep the car going. We're going to go back to the caution flag, I believe, as we've also got Jason Dixon going to the pits.
Oh, and we've got a crash in 3 and 4. That was Noel Teal and Dave McKnight.
So the red flag will come out now as Dave McKnight over on his side. That was a calamity lap.
Well, Dave McKnight indicates to the crew that he is okay here. We'll get a few more bodies on the scene to help put him up on all 4 wheels. They have kinked the left sideboard of the wing a little bit. If you can see, the supports there are flexed on the bottom side of it. If you pick that up from Sean's shot here on the inside of turn 3 and 4. So what they're going to do is they'll keep him buckled in. They'll gently try and lift him up. But this is a heavy one because not only is it heavy to lift up the car, they're going uphill with the car as well. A little bit of oil has leaked out of the side of it here, and we'll see what happens with McKnight if he sits in it. It appears to be all together, guys. And what I mean by that, all 4 tires appear to be up. The wing is intact. And he should be able to be pushed off here unless he feels being on his side that long is going to give him an issue. Looks like they're calling for the hook for McKnight.
Had a few folks ask what the cubic inch is on the crates. They are 350.
Yeah, and I mentioned about 4,500 Canadian. That's before we convert them for sprint car racing. You're looking, if you don't have anything to come from headers to carb and the whole engine package, you're right around 10,000 Canadian. So for our American viewers, it's about 7,000.
That's like $20 with the exchange right now, isn't it?
Give or take. So they're paying out U.S. funds for the summer nat. Are we being paid in the U.S. that night, Greg?
No.
Clint was quick.
Didn't ask you.
Well, if you and Greg want to pay each other American, that's great. Have at it.
Oh, dear. Still waiting to see what they're going to do with Dave McKnight there, whether they're going to lift that car up or give it a push. Alan Downey, whatever the problem was on the 19, required a hook.
Jason Dixon went off at the exact same time as everything happened down in 3 and 4. So a few cars having issues.
Dave, you all right? What's going on up here?
Just got lost the handle, got hit a rut. You know, I'm still learning, right?
Are you having fun?
I'm having a blast, and you know, we'll get it. I need more seat time, that's all.
They have from Dave McKnight Jr. folks up here in turn 3 and 4. He's back on all 4 wheels waiting for the push-off. And we talked about him having a good time, and like he said, a little bit more seat time. Maybe we can talk about that quickly, guys, and the difference between asphalt, where you get to your 7 p.m. start time race at around noon and practice all day, and even where Dave comes from, Ohsweken, they have Friday night practice sessions for anybody who wants to come out. On dirt here, you show up, we give you no practice time. You might be able to catch practice at one of the other tracks because we don't offer it here at Ohsweken. And what it means is you come out, you get your 3 hot laps, you better be ready to go. You got 8 laps in the heat to qualify or the B main. Not a lot of time to learn here on the dirt.
No, it's trial by fire for sure, and Dave McKnight gets pushed off. I admire his determination. Giving that car a test, steering it to the left and the right. It was a pretty lazy layover, which is easy for me to say because I wasn't in the car, Greg, but everything seems to be pointed in the right direction.
And you hear the enjoyment in his voice, and so many of these drivers that have moved over from the asphalt to, I wondered how many of them would enjoy it when they don't get the practice time, but a lot of them seem to have really taken to it. They love it. I know my dad, Dale Kellnan, track photographer, talking to Shane Stickle tonight, and Shane said this is the most fun he's ever had racing, and just really enjoying this crate sprint car division.
And that's awesome to see. And Shane Stickle, Adrian Staley, guys like that coming over to this sport is going to be huge. I think you're going to see a lot more of them make that switch as some of them try it out.
Lucas Smith gets back by Matt Hill again into that second position. He's really working hard to keep that car under him. He'll be able to make the repairs he needs before the feature, but just has to survive a couple of more laps here in the second and final B main.
I'm watching Dave McKnight, the way he's driving that car. There is no quitting that man. He's battling behind Noel Teal in the 14. Coming to 2 laps to go, so it's a tall order for him to think he might qualify, but like he said, it's seat time and he learns every lap.
So Darren Dryden in that Durham Motorsports number 43 will come to the white flag one more time around for him to get into the A main. Oh, Lucas Smith really fighting that car.
I don't know how he's able to drive that thing. And he may not know what's entirely wrong with the car. He just knows how hard he's working to make a normal lap.
Checkers out. Darren Dryden will get into the A main, and a great job by Lucas Smith to muscle that car into the A main as well. Matt Hill, Tyler Ward, Noel Teal, and Dave McKnight are done for the evening from this B main.
Guys, I want to send a quick shout out to Tyler Ward in the 29W. Came out here as a rookie this year, had some struggles in the first couple weeks, but looking really good out here in this one. Unfortunately, he won't qualify, but looks like he's getting the handle.
That's how you do it, Adam. You wait till the race is over to talk about them when nothing bad can happen.
Risk versus reward, Greg. I like to risk it.
Hey, have you seen what happens going in that chute? Many times it could be dangerous to talk about them going off. It is when they're out here. Thunderstock B main coming your way right now. We do know there is a bit of weather. Hopefully you look at the beautiful sunset over the backstretch. But we're told there might be something coming around 11:30 tonight, so we're going to keep hustling through the program. We won't have an intermission, folks, so if you want to go grab something to bite, you might want to run down and grab it. We're going to keep hustling through the program to hopefully get you done as soon as we can. Don't forget 50-50, sellers around pink shirts, guaranteed minimum $7.50. Here comes the B main, guys.
Here's how they'll line up. Kyle Andrus in the 43 on the pole. Casey Huffman in the 13 outside. 93 of Melissa Miller is on the inside of row 2 with the 108Z of Zach Bleach alongside. Christopher Hale in the 79. Dave Bailey in the 49. And the 41 is Adam Plazik. How often do we see Dave Bailey in a Consi?
I had to look twice when I saw Dave pulling out for this B main. Not where you expect to see him. Point leader coming into tonight by 36 markers over Trevor DeBoer.
Do we know how many qualify? I would think it's 3.
It's 6 tonight, guys.
Yeah,
1 B main, 6 cars will qualify. It is our dual under home track race, which means in order to slot into the points with our other 4-member tracks, we can only start 24 cars in the Thunderstocks tonight. 6 will qualify out of this one. 1 will not be that lucky.
Dave Bailey already up there forcing the issue behind Zach Bleach and Casey Huffman as Bailey looks low off of corner number 4 and gets himself to the front of the pile.
Down the inside of 1 and 2, Dave Bailey will take that lead down the back straightaway. Casey Huffman on the outside of Zach Bleach. That's our battle for second.
Casey Huffman in that yellow and fluorescent orange number 13. Having a good run there in that second spot. Christopher Hale, another guy that you wouldn't expect to be in the B main, really came on strong the second half of 2018. Hasn't found his groove yet here this year, but he's up there in the mix here in this B main.
Melissa Miller and Adam Plazik are in 5th and 6th. So right now, Kyle Andrus on the outside looking in that 43 machine.
Looks like we will have one B main still to come for the mini stocks before we head into feature action. 3 wide behind leader Dave Bailey as Casey Huffman, Zach Bleach, and Chris Hale go at it off of corner number 4 to the cross flags.
You know, Casey Huffman has moments. He'll put in a lap or two where that car just looks great. It looks agreeable. And then he'll have laps where it just seems hard for him to control.
It's time by. Should be 3 laps left to go for Dave Bailey in the Queenston Chevrolet Gibbs Action Sports number 49. He and the family had some fun with us last week with the
giant heads on sticks.
Yes, giant heads on sticks. 2 laps left to go. I didn't realize we made it to Victory Lane last week.
No, that's now my Facebook profile picture.
Dave Bailey off of corner number 2. This time I will see the white flag and really made short work of this B main. Didn't want to be in it, I'm sure, but
well, still, anybody on the racetrack has to get this lap completed because Kyle Andrus is back there outside of a transfer spot. So if any of these drivers have a problem on this final lap, it's going to cost them a starting spot in tonight's feature.
Well, he had a cut tire in the qualifying heats, but he made short work of the B main and picks up the win. Dave Bailey will grab the victory and punch his ticket into the A main, as will Zach Bleach. Christopher Hale, Casey Huffman, Adam Plazik, and Melissa Miller will go to the A main. So Kyle Andrus will be done for the evening here as the Thunderstocks compete in the Insta Panels Duel on the Dirt home track race number 2 as Kyle Andrus ends the night with a right front flat. B main coming out for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Cody Somerville will go from the pole in this one. He's from Caledonia. To his outside, the 16J, Jeremy May. Paul Longboat, who was light across the scales in his qualifying heat, will start 3rd. Mike Evers will go from 4th. Starting 5th, Andy Reichman in the 93 alongside Aiden Maynard in the 20A from Chatham. Aaron Decker aboard the 6 machine tonight. He's from Brantford. He'll go from the 7th starting spot. Brent Walker from Chatham in the 6W will go from 8th. Starting 9th from Brantford, Tom Cole in the 6R, and Jason Thompson from Dunville drives the 16T. He will start in 8th.
Wayne Dempster just asked the question, how come we have 358 dirt modifieds but no 358 sprint cars? And how come we have 360 sprint cars but no 360 dirt modifieds? Sorry, Wayne, I was told there would be no math. I have no idea. Somebody listening or watching the feed will have the answer to that, and they will chime in, and then I will read it and answer it as though I thought of the answer myself. Should be 4 transfer out of this because there was 4 qualifying heats. 5 cars out of each heat make it. And if we're starting 24 cars, right after I said there's no math, you made me do math.
Cody Somerville out in front, Jeremy May with him. That's all I'm going to say about Jeremy May.
Jeremy May having a great run in that 16J in this consolation event because I don't believe in your voodoo magic, Craig Callan.
Paul Longboat looking for some redemption after he didn't cross the scales heavy enough, and he's making it 3 wide for the lead in the B main.
What are problems you and I will never have for $500, Alex? Crossing the scales too light. Great battle amongst the top four. They've pulled away a little bit from Brent Walker in that 6W. Mike Evers did not complete his heat earlier on tonight. Good to see him out there competitive.
Halfway through this one for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. B Main up next. We will be ready to go, I believe, with the Crate Sprint Car feature event for 20 laps as Mike Evers challenges to the inside of Jeremy May for that second position.
Evers driving off the bottom of the racetrack, coming off turn 4. He kicks that car plenty loose. That allows Jeremy May to pull ahead again in that 16J, but still they're side by side. Walker is closed in on Somerville. That's an important position out there, and it looks like Mike Evers might be having some problems in that 265.
Oh yeah, he lost a right front wheel as it hits the hay bales hard.
He
It just came right off the rim.
It did come off the rim.
Oh, it's the right rear.
I think it might have improved the handling on that 6. Now he's checking up in 1 and 2.
Checkers out for Paul Longboat. He'll grab the win. Jeremy May second. Third, Brent Walker. Then it's Cody Somerville. Mike Evers does a nice job with a right rear sneaker.
Yeah, that's one of the important ones. Like, right rear is not one that you can race without generally.
Well, guys, you asked earlier about Mike Thorne. I messaged the crew and got a quick report back. Gord Mono says he's enjoying the night in the pits and taking a little break. Crate Sprints coming up next.
It's been a tough season for Mike Thorne. Glad he's here in the pits. He hasn't missed a night in many, many, many years.
All right, we have some draws to announce here as we get ready for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car main event. We have our fan appreciation draw, so get your tickets out that you received on your way into the Speedway tonight. We also have our program prize draw. The number will be on the front cover of your program. We'll do the program prize draw first. If you have any of these numbers, you'll need to make your way down to the base of the flag stand. I believe our program sellers are on their way here. So you'll be able to collect your prize down at the base of the flag stand. Program number 109, that is good for a $50 gift certificate courtesy of Grand River Dinner Cruises. 109. 2 free passes to the Speedway to 155. 155. 1 hat courtesy of Caledonia Auto Supply to 163. 163. A hat courtesy of Queenston Chevrolet to 140. 140. A free large 3-item pizza courtesy of Wiggy's Pizza in Caledonia to 137. 137. And a free pita courtesy of the Pita Pit in Caledonia to 121. 121. If you have any of those programs numbers, please make your way to the base of the flag stand to claim your prize. Again, I'll read off those program numbers one more time. Number 109. 109. Number 155. 155. Number 163. 163. Number 140. 140. Number 137, 137, and 121, 121. Those are the winning program numbers for this evening. Now the fan appreciation draw, and you have about 15 minutes to get down to the main entryway to claim your prize before the ladies pack up and head home for the night. Adult ticket, 24732, 24732. Senior youth ticket, 24596, 24596. Children's ticket 02386, 02386, and a season's pass ticket to 393023, 393023. So again, you can take those winning numbers down to the main entryway. The ladies will get you your prize here tonight, and you've got about 15 minutes to claim those prizes. I'll go over those numbers one more time. Adult ticket 24732, 24732. Senior youth ticket 24596. 24596. Children's ticket 02386. 02386. And a season's pass 393023. That's 393023. Again, 50-50 sellers going through the stands right now in the pink T-shirts. Wave them down. Get in on tonight's draws. Clinton said guaranteed $750 here tonight.
Guys, while we wait for the crate sprints to make the rail, let's talk quickly about our July 22nd, 23rd event. Christopher Bell, Tony Stewart, and Rico Abro here to race 360s for 2 nights, our biggest event of the year before the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals rolls up in September. Lots of tickets available. Go on Ohsweken Speedway.com and pick up your camping reservations and your tickets for the Northern Summer Nationals coming up here July 22nd, 23rd, presented by Bradshaw Brothers, Pinty's, Burger Barn, and our buddies at Nitro 54 Variety. So make sure you check those out. Tickets are available right now. It's going to be the hottest event of the summer. We'll have live bands and a whole bunch of good times for a couple days. Make sure you are here. Now, Doug Leonard, give us the story. What happened with the 188? We'll hear it from the officials.
So 188, when he crossed the skills after winning his heat, was deemed to be light, which would have put him into the B main. He won the B main. He went across the scales again, but was light. He'll be disqualified for the night, which will slide the 265 into the A main to complete our 28-car field.
Thanks, Doug. We know you're busy. We appreciate your time. So there you have it, guys. Right from Doug Leonard, Race Control himself. The radio came over from the tech barn that Paul Longboat was light for the second time tonight. He will not qualify. I know you guys be wondering why Evers was in that race when he didn't finish with his right rear tire. So there's the story, guys.
Nicely done, Clinton Jeffrey. Now, I did get one suggestion on the difference between a 358 and a 360. So I'm told a 358 is just a Chevy 350 cubic inch engine with an extra inch of stroke across all 8 cylinders, whereas a 360 cubic inch might be a purpose-built racing engine. But I was also told to verify that with someone, and I didn't because it sounded good.
My understanding with my limited engine builder knowledge is a 358 is a 350 that has been bored 60 over to get to 358 cubic inches. The reason we call them 360 is because the Dodge package would come out to 360. So that includes the Chevys are actually 358s. The Dodge motors in this package would be 360, I believe, is the correct explanation.
Sounds good to me. All right, Strickland's GMC Crate Sprint Car feature event. 20 laps is the distance, and here's how they'll line up. On the pole out of Vanessa, the number 4 is the Hurricane Hannah Farrell. On the outside of row number 1, the Schneider Electric 1A from Beamsville is Paul Klager. Row 2 on the inside, and the 29 out of Binbrook, it's Liam Martin. Alongside him from St. Thomas, the 52 is Jesse Costa. Starting 5th from Hamilton, the 56 is Derek Lemaire, and starting 6th from Gore's Landing, the 19 is Brandon Merle. Starting 7th out of Mount Bridges, the 45 is Nick Sheridan, and starting 8th from Kitchener, the 39 is Shane Stickle. Starting 9th from Six Nations, the 20 is Johnny Miller, and starting 10th from Port Colborne, the 5D is Jacob Dykstra. Starting 11th from Niagara Falls, the 70 is Bailey Hurd, and starting 12th in the 14 out of Thamesford, it's Eric Gledhill. Starting 13th from Rockwood, the Radio Shuttle 74 is Rob Neely, and starting 14th from Beachville, the 5 is DJ Christie. Starting 15th from Font Hill, the 08 is Stephen Beckett, and starting 16th from Kitchener, the 2 is Travis Hofstetter. Starting 17th from Welland, the 3B is Blaine Barrow, and alongside him from Ohsweken, the 69 is Josh Hill. Starting 19th out of Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill. Starting 20th out of Burford, the 12 is Brad Herron. Starting 21st from Caledonia, the 88 is Jesse McDonald, and starting 22nd from Freelton, the 43 is Darren Dryden. Starting 23rd from Oakland, the 10 is Lofton Schutz, and rounding out the field from Brantford, the 49L is Lucas Smith. Greg, any comments on YouTube?
Well, I did want to make mention, thanks to John Verney, because he's been there every time someone has a question about what's going on. He's been there to answer it for us, so thanks, John, for all your help with that.
I'm not thinking Johnny should be here racing. I know he's from Salmon Arm, British Columbia, but still.
First feature of the night following this one, the Thunder Stocks. That will be followed by the 360 sprint cars, and we'll conclude tonight with our mini stock division. Again, the Cool Kids Ice and Water 360 sprint car winner will draw tonight's 50-50 number.
Steve Melville in the house tonight. Finally made it out to the Big O. We appreciate you being here. The field taking shape. Enough so that Kyle McKenzie waves the white flag. One more lap to go. We're going to set him loose out of turn 4. Hannah Farrell, that Oakwood Transportation. Lucas Oil number 4 on the pole. And the Schneider Electric Lucas Oil 1A of Paul Klager alongside. And you can almost guarantee it week in and week out, but the Jordan Hill number 28 has the flattest wing on the racetrack.
Yeah, I noticed that again tonight in the qualifying heats, and it works for him. He's got a feature win this year and knows how to drive that Club 54, number 28. Be a big night for him to get a win on his sponsors night here at the Speedway. Club 54 Racing. We want to thank them again as we get ready for the first feature of the night. Double greens in the air for the first time.
Liam Martin poked his nose to the inside, couldn't make it work. Now he and Paul Klager make contact off of turn number 2, and that stacks up everybody from second on back. Problems for Gledhill in 3.
I don't know how everyone missed him. That was a good bit of driving by everyone behind Eric Gledhill. In that Oakwood Transport, number 14 comes to a stop in corner 3 to loop the car completely around. There was just a flurry of action from front to back.
Well, guys, no issues down here for Eric Gledhill. He's all right.
So a couple of questions that we're fielding. One, Corey Treese, if you're coming from the States, there's great camping here at the racetrack. But if not, Greg, you're a resident camper. Where's a good place? Where's a good campground around here?
I believe there's a good one just down the road here from the Speedway that's right along the Grand River as well, that's open through the summer and open for campers. But definitely, why not come here to the track and just enjoy the atmosphere? That's the best deal.
Yeah, live right here at the Speedway with us for a couple of days, and you're right, Chiefswood Park down at the corner of 54 and Chiefswood. But we'd love to have you here at the Speedway. Log on to our website and get a campsite. We'd love to have you here with us for 2 days.
Also a question of why there's no scoreboard tonight. We are having problems with the transponder loop, so we're scoring these races the old school way. We're using transponders, but we're also using backup from Kim Banyard, who is manually scoring these races. So the trouble is, if a car goes by too far to the inside on the front stretch, they don't show up on the scoreboard, and that's just going to confuse everybody, Greg.
Yeah, it was a problem we noticed during track packing when we had the cars down low. So it is showing up on the broadcast, but for those here, we want to make sure we got it right. So it is unofficial on the broadcast. Here we go.
Trying all over again, green flag out. Complete restart as the Hurricane. Hannah Farrell leads the pack down through 1 and 2, side by side behind her.
Wow, did they fan out through 1 and 2, had to funnel down again into 3 and 4. Brandon Merle 360 keeps on going, nobody collected.
Little hip check there on Travis Hofstetter that he placed on Shane Stickle, and they keep going as well. What a great bit of driving by everyone so far.
Little bit of a bobble in 1 and 2, just a couple of ripples going into the turn that seems to be upsetting these cars. At the front, Paul Klager out in front being chased by Hannah Farrell.
Klager, Farrell, and Costa right now, the top 3 in this one, with Liam Martin and Derek Lemaire 4th and 5th. And Lemaire got down into Johnny Miller, who then gets hit on the top wing there.
Awkward contact between Jacob Dykstra and the 5D, who is driving down the front stretch through 1 and 2 under red, which Seems curious to me. We'll see what Doug Leonard has to say about that as he's headed back to the pits.
Well, Kyle McKenzie was seemingly, I don't know if he was directing him to keep going, to head to the pit area or not, but
Not sure.
so that may have been okay for him to do that. But, man, that was some contact down in corner 4. Clinton Jeffries right on the scene.
Sorry, guys, got to catch my breath here. The extinguisher choking us out here. Johnny Miller's all right, appears to be in the car. Smiling anyways, telling his mom, Chris, he's okay. This car is not. It is mangled over here, as you can imagine. Johnny Miller, one of our young rookies, been doing good. Tonight, he got his initiation of sprint cars.
He made a good aggressive move to the bottom of the racetrack, and I don't know if the car on the outside of him came down or if he couldn't hold it down and slid up a little bit, but that's how the contact began. He's out of the car, folks. How about a big round of applause for Johnny Miller, driver of the Ohsweken Speedway, number 20.
Well, Johnny, you're officially a big-time sprint car driver now. You've been on your roof. Mom's watching back in the sign-in booth. How you feeling?
I'm good. Just the car's not.
No, the car's not. But talk about your season quickly here. You've been having a pretty good run just to get going. Are you happy with your season so far other than tonight?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, but not tonight because
We can see it. There's Johnny Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Man, a few words. The Iceman, Johnny Miller, going to need to cool off here because this car is a wreck.
Well, everything on the car did its job, Clinton. When you get hit on the roll cage, wow, what a shot. What a replay we're seeing here. Outstanding. Jacob Dykstra drove right under him. Folks, if you don't have your smartphones open, you should. That's one of the coolest vantage points I've seen. Robert, if you can show that again, just show exactly what you just did over again. I'm not sure if you can or not. From the infield,
Hopped up over the left rear tire of Derek Lemaire, and then Jacob Dykstra didn't hit him where I thought he did it. Like you said, he was kind of scooting underneath.
yeah, and I mean, that was mutual. Johnny made a good move. Derek Lemaire, I think, was committed to coming down the track. Folks, if you've got your phone here, open it up to the Ohsweken Speedway Facebook page. Robert, give it about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or you can just show this replay over and over again. That's an amazing shot. Right where Derek Smith is standing.
That's Sean Robertson, our cameraman down in the infield. Great job catching that. As get some great camera work here by Sean down trackside. Greg Boydell over there in the corner 2 perch, and Dave Steyer's up on the roof here catching all the action. How do you think that sounded to Derek Lemaire? Because I think that right rear went right by his left arm.
He didn't flinch. Watch him. So they're coming by crashing right there where Derek Smith. He is still pointed to turn 3 shooting.
I was talking about Derek Lemaire in the driver's cockpit because that right rear tire went right by where his left hand is essentially steering that car. But yeah, Derek Smith, well, he's the Iceman as well.
Unflappable. And Hilly saying, oh, dang, hope Johnny is all right. Johnny just chatted with Clinton. He seems to be A-OK. Great safety features in these race cars. All of the bars that are there to protect these drivers doing their job. Where did Derek Lemaire roll to? So did we ever get, Clinton, do you have the officials' radio when they're shouting instructions? Jacob Dykstra went from turn 4 all the way to the pits. Clint's probably busy doing 10 other things.
I can find out about that. Give me a second. I'll get right back to you.
Just seemed curious to me.
Now watch this replay as Johnny Miller hops over the left rear of Derek Lemaire. Wow, like that's right by Derek's head.
That right rear could have slapped him in the side of the melon. And they raised the weight limit of this class over the offseason to allow for more safety bars that they recommended teams to install. And that's exactly one of the areas where they wanted a bar put in so cars couldn't get into the driver's cockpit on the left side, as we see Johnny Miller's car being hoisted away.
Well, another situation that came up here under the red flag condition Nick Sheridan, the 45, has a bungee cord that he uses on his shifter to keep it in gear on the rough track. I guess he's lost his bungee cord. Asked if one of our track crew could get in there and help him cinch that down. The answer from Doug Leonard was a firm no. You can go tail if you want it, or you can run without it. So Nick Sheridan with some concerns over there in the cockpit, albeit minor. We'll see if it plays a role for him.
Now, what about Jacob Dykstra?
Now, Jacob Dykstra was involved in this incident with Johnny Miller. As they were rolling down the front straightaway into one, he realized he had damage. He was already headed off when Doug started calling red. He was able to go to the work area. He will be able to restart tail once the 2-minute work time is started, because they cannot work under the red flag.
I'll believe your story because you're the boss, but that's a crock.
Then you tell me what happened. I asked Doug what happened.
A car flipped on his nose. Of course they're red. He was in turn 4, crawling down the front stretch while everyone else stopped.
I guess you got to knock on Doug's door and ask him what happened, because
Nope.
I asked for an explanation, and that's what I got.
We're in separate rooms, and I like it that way. Okay, we're going back under yellow flag. Push vehicles, pushing people along. Well, let's have a look at Derek Lemaire for a lap or two as he goes by. Definitely some contact with the 20 of Johnny Miller, but the left rear tire didn't go down. That'd be the major concern, is cutting a left rear tire for Derek Lemaire. But the car looks to be no worse for wear. All the cars being pushed off seem to be coming up to speed. Oh, hey, Clint, during that little break we had a minute ago, I was able to log into our portal at work. I found out that they granted me the week off for the Summer Nationals, so I actually get to camp out here during the Summer Nationals, enjoy a couple of nights of racing, put my feet up, have a campfire.
I got some good guys for you to camp with. T-Mac and the boys will feed you well, buddy.
I worry about you. I've camped with you before, and there have been times when I was waking up in the morning and you were just coming in to crash.
I'm old and married with kids now, buddy.
Fair point. So Jacob Dykstra back on track. No nose wing on that 5D. And I shouldn't make a big deal about him driving down under red. It's just, it's not the precedent you want to send. If the safety team had been wanting to come out where he was driving, that's when it poses the problem. So that's why we generally don't like the drivers to take those matters into their own hands. But what's done is done. He's going to go to the back of the field for this restart. And that car will probably have a little bit of a push without that nose wing planting the front end in the turn. So the number that cut him off, the 56 of Derek Lemaire, was on the outside of the 20 of Johnny Miller. Miller made that move to the bottom as Lemaire was starting to arc his car and cut it down to the inside. It was fairly mutual contact. I would consider that anyhow a racing accident, and they certainly happen. Johnny Miller got the worst end of that as Derek Lemaire still out there running in the 5th position in that orange, black, and white number 56. Paul Klager in the lead. Hannah Farrell second, Jesse Costa third in the 52, Liam Martin fourth in the 29, then is Derek Lemaire in 5th. 6th is Nick Sheridan in the 45. 7th is the 70 of Bailey Hurd. 8th is the 5 of DJ Christie. 9th is 74 of Rob Neely. 10th, Brandon Merle in the 19. 11th is Josh Hill in the 69. 12th is Travis Hofstetter in the 2. 13th is Stephen Beckett in the 08. 14th, the 12 of Brad Heron. 15th, Shane Stickel in the 39. 16th on back, the 3B of Blaine Barrow. The 49 of Lucas Smith. The 28 of Jordan Hill. The 88 of Jesse McDonald. Darren Dryden in the 43. Lofton Schutz. Then Eric Gledhill and Jacob Dykstra. That's how they run. Lemaire's car looks no worse for wear as we take this restart. He is mixing it up there in the top 5. Lucas Smith on the charge from the back of the field in that 49L. Looking for racing room, battling with Jesse McDonald right behind Shane Stickle in the 39 and the 3B of Blaine Barrow. Oh, one into the wall off of 4. That's Josh Hill. He gets collected with Shane Stickle, Jesse McDonald, Blaine Barrow, and Jesse McDonald with a hard flip down the front straightaway, and that will bring out a red flag once again. That, I believe, started, and I want to see a replay. Josh Hill got up the racetrack in turn 4, just kind of ran out of track, and as he was coming back off the corner, everybody converged at the same spot. So Shane Stickle, they're checking on him. They're going to go check on Blaine Barrow. Did not like the way Jesse McDonald's car landed hard on the back end, but I believe he's out of the car already. Clinton Jeffrey on the scene surveying things. Shane Stickle's climbing out of the left side of that race car. Folks, give him a round of applause.
Shane Stickle was our Top Gun Award winner tonight, and now he's not going to get his car looking that good. Jesse McDonald, his second vicious flip here in 2 weeks, and he will slowly work his way out of the 88 car. Still hurting a bit from that wreck, we're told. Josh Hill down here assessing the damage. Josh, are you okay? That's the main thing everybody wants to know. How are you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm more worried about Jesse than anything.
All right, we'll watch Jesse. They told us he's just a little bit sore in the rib area, so we'll give Jesse a moment to work his way out here slowly under his own power as the track crew continues to clean up the situation here on the front straightaway.
The way that car went up in the air, Jesse McDonald, and the way he flipped it, it landed on the nose. We're going to have a look at a replay right now from Greg Boydell in the turn 2, and you can see McDonald flips up in the air and lands hard right on the tail of the car. And Clint, that is what it leads to most of the time when you see a broken back. When Tim McCready, when it happened to him at the Chili Bowl, it's that landing on the back of the race car coming down that way, and it'll rattle your cage. So Shane Stickle's number 39 being put back on his wheels. I believe they're going to load him onto the flat deck. Blaine Barrow, wouldn't surprise me if Blaine Barrow in the 3B is able to refire. And Clint, I believe you're with Shane Stickle.
Shane, welcome to sprint car racing. I know it's a horrible initiation, but if you're going to play in the dirt, you're going to have one of these initiations. How about it for Shane, though, ladies and gentlemen? He's our Ackland Insurance Top Gun Award winner. The extra $100 is going to help you a little bit with your mangled race car. So first off, what happened here on the front straightaway, Shane?
Just a couple cars got out of shape. I thought I got around one guy and got clipped by another guy and just went over and just hugged myself and went for the ride after that.
You're smiling, so that's a good thing. Other than tonight, are you enjoying things here on the dirt?
I'm having a blast. I come from a long couple of years of asphalt racing, and I'm loving every minute of this. Hopefully we got this out of the way and we'll come back stronger in a couple of weeks.
There you have it, your Ackland Award Top Gun Award winner tonight. Shane Stickle is all right, ladies and gentlemen. How about a round of applause for him? And Josh Hill, we're still working on Jesse McDonald as he gingerly gets out of the number 88.
And we can see he's been talking to the safety crew, Clinton. That's the big thing.
Blaine, you got to...
And they'll do everything to make sure that he doesn't climb out of that race car before he should. They're pulling away the Hill 69 machine.
Well, Jesse's out of the car, sitting on the tire here, taking his helmet off, which is a great sign, ladies and gentlemen. Still obviously a bit sore. And we'll let Jesse catch his breath, but this car is destroyed.
So they'll continue with the cleanup on the front straightaway. Stickle's car going up on the flatbed again. Blaine Barrow, now the Blaine Barrow 3B, the left front is pointed hard to the left, and as long as the right front's pointed that same direction, he's probably A-OK.
Well, Jesse, I was going to bug you to talk, but you said you're all right. We gave a legendary interview a couple weeks ago. You're smiling. That's the best thing.
Yeah, there's so much dust, man. You can't see. And I said to myself, somebody's going to get hurt. And here I am.
Well, take your walk back. He's all right, ladies and gentlemen, out of his own power, a little bit shaken up. Of course, he was in a bad wreck here 2 weeks ago. Still suffering the effects of that. And look at this NREM 88 machine of Jesse McDonald for the Glenspires race team. It is going off in a ball. And they were bugging Jesse at the shop a couple weeks ago, saying, boy, you really know how to wreck them. Well, they ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, that's a mangled race car. And again, it's circumstances. And I certainly won't say Jesse is wrong, but Clint, we've seen dust is really not a terrible issue here tonight. I think the big issue is a car not quite up to speed. I mean, Josh Hill had to chase that car off of turn 4 and regain control. So the big issue is 4 cars converging in a space where only 2 cars would fit. And they go for a big old tumble. Stickle 39 heading back to the pits, and here goes Blaine Barrow about to be pushed. He'll have to straighten that wheel out and make sure that he's all 4 tires are in agreement in which direction they should be facing.
Well, Adam, this will be my Case IH track report right here on the front straightaway. I don't know if you guys probably can't see it, but you can see this right rear has dug deep here into the mud and caused quite a crater on one of these cars. Likely Jesse or Josh caused that. Quite a crater here caused by the tires here on the front straightaway.
That's quite a dimple down in the racetrack, and just shows how soft the clay is in certain spots. There's just been so much moisture. This will shake up the race order for certain. Yeah, another comment about the place being too dusty, Greg, but I don't see it. I mean, if you think it's too dusty, I think you haven't been to many dirt tracks. Have you ever been to the Victoria 200? Well, it's not called that anymore, but down in Fulton?
I haven't been there for that event, but I've been to other events there that have been.
Oh, I'm not picking on Fulton. It's just the nature of starting 50 cars on a dirt track in a day race, and boy, oh boy. But part of what makes sprint car racing so exciting on dirt is the fact that you're racing against other drivers and other machines. You're also racing against the conditions. Trevor Young saying the dust does make it hard to see on the track, especially a few laps after a restart. And I can't take that away, Trevor, because I'm sure it's true. I mean, I raced on asphalt, and I had a tough enough time seeing at times just the different conditions. I love that people do comment and come in and get involved on often on dumb things that I say, but it creates that engagement. What? Say what? Sexy girl full here says something unintelligible on YouTube. Yes. We have bots on our YouTube feed. That must mean that we have decent numbers.
Nearly 400 viewing on the YouTube stream right now.
Is that right? Over 300 viewing on Facebook. So more people watch on YouTube than on Facebook, eh? Probably because they don't have to put up with us reading their comments.
We've ruined their night.
Edward Wade, are they all okay? They all came out of the cars under their own power and walked away, jumped in the truck. I've always hated saying people are okay because that's different for all of them, but they walked away under their own power, and they're going to go back to the pits and rethink things, and hopefully they are okay.
All right, ready to get back to racing action with Paul Clager leading the way. Wasn't in the A main a week ago. Now he's leading it.
Pretty amazing for Clager out in front. A good restart for Jesse Costa in the 52. Goes to the outside in 1 and 2. The inside in 3 and 4. Nice crossover move by Hannah Farrell. She loses the spot, takes it right back.
Jesse Costa up there in that 3rd position. Had a good podium finish a week ago. He's on track for another solid season after a injured back ended his championship hopes in 2018.
Amazing to see some of the ripples develop on this racetrack almost out of nowhere. We see a couple of cars bouncing down through turn 1. Gledhill goes around in the 14, gets poked by the 43 of Darren Dryden to finish that spin. Those bounces are so aggressive down in 1 and 2, it makes me wonder why the heck they're still running down there. Flat left rear tire on Gledhill's 14. So Brian Helwell, we'll see if we can get you another replay. We only caught the tail end of that accident, but Robert, if you can show that shot from Greg Boydell's camera, that crash on the front stretch again, feel free to do that.
Well, guys, Lucas Smith again with left rear shock issues on the 49L. Going back there around 12th spot. He's got issues there on that left rear once again, so they're going to have to figure out what has caused those issues.
Yeah, strange to see that happen again. Brian Helwell, there was your replay.
Eric Gledhill going to try and go to the work area for a fresh left rear. We hear is the only thing wrong with him.
Oh, I keep looking at that landing of Jesse McDonald. Just such a tough landing. That'll give you a whiplash. It'll give you a sore back.
Just want to give everybody a heads up. While we do victory lane for this division, we will bring out the Case IH Power Harrow and chop up the bottom of 1 and 2 a little bit, possibly a bit in 3 and 4, to smooth things out a little bit for the rest of the night's races. But again, it should not take any extra time, as it will happen while we are in victory lane.
No, they've been doing a great job. That fix of the racetrack happened so quickly. Like you say, Clinton, we're interviewing the top 3 anyhow in victory lane, so that works out real well. Gledhill's 14 will be taken back to the work area. As you say, it should just be a simple left rear tire change. Did they move the work area towards the tech barn yet, Clinton, so we're able to watch, or is that a work in progress?
You know, we talked about it, Adam, but a lot of the low-budget teams don't have the mules, and they didn't feel they would be able to keep up with the higher-buck teams and those guys who are equipped. So we did have almost a total upheaval with the drivers, a mutiny last week. Doug wasn't happy. We were trying to move it to the tech barn, but a lot of the teams said, you know, a guy like Trevor Young comes to you and says, listen, man, lap 1 flat tire and I'm done. I've wasted a whole week, and I think we heard that message loud and clear from a lot of the drivers. So we are hoping they would go to the work area where we can show it on the stream, but we understand some things just cannot be done behind the tech barn.
No, very true, and good to see Jay Mallory commenting on the Facebook and saying, yeah, definitely a hard landing, and Jay has raced everywhere in lots of conditions, and of course he's certainly been through some dust bowls before. Some nights are dustier than others, but by and large the conditions here are pretty good. Hey, Jeffrey Flaro's here tonight, Clint. Race with us in the Rivals Racing League. So did Jason Thompson, who's competing here tonight. So work going on the Gledhill number 14.
Do you remember the original sprint car game they had for PC? I think it was Rat Bag Racing came out with dirt sprint cars.
Yep.
Jeff and I raced way back, like 2003, 2004, I think, online back in the day. I had an online league back then, and He's turned many a lapse on the computer.
And now you don't even have the courage
Now
to show up.
I don't even have an iRacing account anymore.
What? I thought you were racing. You like the super speedways.
I let it expire, and I missed the Black Friday half price deal, and I refused to pay the full price. So
Wow. That's
I don't
awesome.
have time. I would love to, but I just...
So Jay Mallory's saying the track looks in good shape, and Jay, tonight it does. It has been a challenge this year. The Mother Nature has not been kind to dirt promoters. Tough conditions to work through, but yeah, tonight I would say tonight's the best racetrack we've had to work with, wouldn't you, Greg?
Oh yeah, by far it's been very good, and tip of the cap to all those that worked so hard this week. And you could see it in the hot laps. It was just that look that we hadn't seen in a while. The way it was packed in nice and smooth, and obviously we don't have absolute perfection here tonight, but from where we've been, great job by the staff.
Well, as we've said, you know, even the last 2 Thursdays in a row, it has absolutely poured here to the point that some of the videos that were shared by the track crew got everybody calling us on Friday and saying, are we still going to be able to race? Because it was absolutely torrential downpour that we had. So I've been saying all along, if our crew can control how much moisture they put in the clay, we would have a better shot to have a great track. So getting ready to go, it doesn't look like the Gledhill car is going to make it back. Doug has just called one to go with the line. And here he comes. Actually, Gledhill did come out of the pits, so we're getting ready to go.
And Clint, I need you to do me a favor. Find out how many laps are complete. I don't know if they've mentioned that over, I guess Race Monitor would be right for that, wouldn't it?
7 complete,
Yes.
says Doug Leonard.
7 laps complete.
Of 20.
Or you just look at the top right-hand corner of the monitor.
Nick Massey, I prefer when you're here racing because you can't be throwing jabs at my iRacing skills. My son's a good dirt racer, though.
Back to the green flag. Clagger, Farrell, and Costa will lead them down into the corner. Oh, they got
Why did they all run the bottom? It's like a roller coaster down there. We've watched lap after lap. They keep going back to it, and the cars bounce all over the place.
Side by side for second. Costa will shoot to the outside of the Hurricane. Hannah Farrell takes second away. Again, they continue to go down in the bumps in corners 1 and 2 as DJ Christie a little slow off of 2 that time.
Yeah, Christie lost a little bit of momentum. That allowed Rob Neely to close in that 74. Bailey Hurd right behind him, so they're all taking turns getting runs. But how about Paul Clager out in front by 10 car lengths or more over Jesse Costa as they reach the halfway point, 10 laps down, 10 laps remaining.
Clager with a great run in that Schneider Electric 1A machine as he sails it down into corner number 3, looking for his first career crate sprint car victory here at Ohsweken Speedway. He's got a number of Mod Light wins here as he used to be Mr. Mod Light for quite a time. And he's out in front over Jesse Costa.
He was a great Mod Light racer all over North America, always competitive wherever he went. Taking him a little bit of time to get settled into this crate sprint car, but he's looking good this season. He's had some good runs, did not qualify last week. And boy, oh boy, is he looking to make up for that tonight. His laps click away. How about Hannah Farrell in the 3rd spot? She's having a great battle with Nick Sheridan in the 45.
7 laps to go for Paul Clager, the Beamsville Bullet, catching the tail end of the field as he begins to set his sights on Lofton Schutz to put him a lap down. Jesse Costa there in 2nd, really not gaining a whole lot of ground. Then it's Nick Sheridan 3rd, and right now Hannah Farrell 4th and Liam Martin in the top 5.
Jesse Costa just about missed turn 3 the last time. Was way up the racetrack. Kept it on the track, which was a good thing for him, and he's able to regroup and try to mount a challenge. But Paul Clager now more than half a straightaway lead.
Kyle McKenzie showing the field. It's 5 laps left to go as leader Paul Clager, twitched the car sideways in 3. Gathers it back up, trying to get by the lap car of Eric Gledhill.
He'll go into the corner. He's been running that line every lap through 1 and 2. He's able to get a decent drive off the turn on the inside, closing in again on Gledhill. He'll lose a bit of ground going into 3 and 4, gather it back in. So Jesse Costa is slowly closing the gap, but he is running out of laps. Whoa, one goes up in smoke. That is Lofton Schutz in turn 2.
Right in front of Jesse Costa, and that puts him
Back to third.
behind Nick Sheridan, and Liam Martin nearly scooted by him.
Well, Liam Martin is now in that battle with Jesse Costa, and that's just bad luck for Costa having to roll out of the throttle. 2 laps to go.
Liam Martin with the nose wing collapsed on his car, but he stays up there running in that third spot. White flag coming out for Paul Klager in the Snyder Electric 1A. He is the all-time winningest Mod Light driver here at Ohsweken Speedway with 9 victories. He's about to notch his very first crate sprint car win. Off of corner 4 he comes. Checkers come out. Paul Klager, the Beamsville Bullet, will shoot into Mr. Transmission victory lane.
Nick Sheridan going to roll home second in the 45. Rounding out the podium is Liam Martin in the 29. That was a tough one to get through.
A first-time winner for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Paul Klager out of Beamsville will pick up his first ever crate feature win. Great job in the win over Nick Sheridan. The youngster, again, another solid performance for him. And just taking a quick look, Paul Klager came into tonight 6th place in points. And he's going to gain some ground on Lucas Smith, who had some struggles. He was the point leader coming into tonight, so everything's going to tighten back up again here for the Crate Sprint Car Division as the top 3 will head over the scales over in the barn before they head to Mr. Transmission victory lane.
And a point of clarification, Nick Mazzy said, no, I meant Greg wouldn't stand a chance against you at iRacing, so I take it all back, Nick Mazzy. You comment away, my friend.
I was confused about that. I thought that was a shot at me, and it wasn't really a shot because he's right. I wouldn't stand a chance. Don't get me wrong. I love iRacing. I have 0 free time.
I understand. The off season, that's what iRacing is for.
It's the 4 little ones at home, of which tonight was the first time all 4 of my kids were at the track tonight, helping out Grandma down in the photography booth.
That's awesome.
Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks up next. Then it'll be the 360 sprints, and we'll conclude tonight with the mini stock division. Just waiting for all the cars to cross the scale, and then we will head down to Mr. Transmission victory lane here on Club 54 Racing Night. Again, you can go to OhswekenSpeedway.com. There is a link at the top of the page that was added this week that takes you directly to our ticket website. So you can click on that and get those advanced reserve tickets for July 22nd and 23rd, Monday, Tuesday night affair when Tony Stewart, Christopher Bell, and Rico Abreu will be in town. The Northern Summer Nationals brought to you by Burger Barn, Aero Express, Bradshaw Brothers, and Nitro 54 Variety. Lone Wolf Fireworks will light up the sky for the first career crate sprint car win for Mr. Paul Klager. The Beamsville Bullet will send it down trackside with Clinton Jeffrey.
Thanks, guys. Paul gets out of the Schneider Electric. Grimsby Canadian Tire 1A here. And we'll get a quick word with him here as he comes down out of the car. Here he comes out of the car, ladies and gentlemen. Let him know you appreciate him picking up the feature win. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Beamsville Bullet, Paul Klager.
Woo! Yeah!
Safety first, Paul Klager celebrating with his helmet on.
Come on, Paul, get that helmet off. Let's talk to you. The crew guy, you say that wrong.
No.
The crew guy said, "Are you sure you want his helmet off?" Paul, what a way to rebound it. And you know, when we talk about talking about last week how you didn't qualify in any other division, that would be like a big kind of letdown. But in this division, it's just par for the course with the talent level we've got here. What does it mean to finally get to victory lane?
Oh, it means a lot. This has really humbled me, that's for sure. And, you know, I won a lot of races in the Mod Lights, and this is an ultra-competitive division. It's all about the draw. You know, got to pass guys in the heat. I mean, you got to move forward. And if you don't, like we had troubles last week, broke the axle and didn't make it through the B main, it really hurt. But the team regrouped, we got our back together, and the thing felt great today.
You look good, Paul. Talk about, all the racing you've done over the years. These guys were talking about, you actually started mini stock here many years ago. These guys probably don't know that. Yeah, it's true. I run Friday nights here with my mini stock, and it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. We did the Leonard Memorial, right, and all that stuff too. It was a blast, right? All them races in mini stock, and then to the mod light, and now into sprint cars. And I love these things. These are a blast. Congrats, Paul. You're a great sprint car feature winner. Yeah, I need to thank my sponsors, Schneider Electric. I've got a whole whack on here. Janie Recovery, my teammate Josh, my girlfriend Ingrid, who puts up a lot of long hours in the shop and probably doesn't get the attention she deserves. But I can't thank Lucas Oil, Philbrook Farm and Garden, Canadian Tire Grimsby, and all my great sponsors. Thanks, Paul. Back to you guys. We'll get over here with second and third.
Good to see Paul Klager in victory lane. Just a really well-liked guy in the pit area, and man, I know it had to be hard when you win that much as you do in the mod lights, and then to get that first crate sprint car win. It's a big monkey off the back, I'm sure, and a relief.
Well, Nick, I saw your prom this week. Did you graduate high school?
I just graduated public school, actually. I'm not even in high school, but it was a good.
Wait a minute. You finished what grade?
Grade 8.
Grade 8, ladies and gentlemen. Nick, it's pretty impressive, man. For a kid who come over the asphalt, your family's not a dirt-bred crew. You're turning a lot of heads. You must be happy.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. I mean, we're not really a dirt guy. My dad even asphalt stuff. My brother does. But one of the reasons we're doing so well is my crew member Rick Bird. He really knows a lot about this dirt, and he's really helping us out a lot. But it was just a great night. It was we had to pass a lot of cars there, and it was a lot of fun with the track.
Good job, Nick. 14 years old, ladies and gentlemen, keeping our young stars alive. Young Liam Martin. Liam, what are you, 16 now?
Yes, sir.
Talk about that drive. Good run for you. You must be happy. Back on top.
Yeah, that was a tough run tonight with the track the way it was with the bottom. To work through all those bottom crumbles was a challenge, but I think next week we can get the car tuned up and ready to go.
Solid run here. How about, ladies and gentlemen, for your top three tonight, Paul Klager, Nick Sheridan, and Liam Martin get it done in the crate division here tonight at the Big O on Club 54 night.
It's Paul Klager, big win. Nick Sheridan coming home in the second spot. Liam Martin, third. Grade 8 graduate coming home in second. It's hard to fathom that in these sprint cars. Grade 8, that was the best 4 years of your life, wasn't it, Adam?
I enjoyed them. Enjoyed them very much. How long ago did you think of that, Greg?
How long? I thought you were starting into song.
I'm skipping a little bit. I
thought you were ordering takeout for a second there.
That was Adam Ross, Techno Mix. Here's the starting lineup for Duel in the Dirt Home Track Series. Thunderstock feature event. On the pole in the number 40 is Derek Liverance on the outside of row number 1. In the 2 is Matt Newell. Starting third in the 6R, it's Jeff Rulifs, and fourth in the 11 is Go Fast Teeple. Starting fifth in the number 4 is Aaron Rowitsky. On the outside of row 3 in the number 1 is Chris Dickey. Starting 7th in the 37, it's Rob Hoskins, and starting 8th, the 21X, is Mark Bazine. Starting 9th, he was smoking in his heat race, still came home with the win. In the 53, it's Logan Schwedick, and alongside him in the 8, it's Ryan Dinning. Starting 11th in the 24 is Blake Bombury Jr. Starting 12th in the 32, it's Mark Fawcett. Starting 13th, it's the 28D of Donnie Lampman, and alongside him will be his dad in the 28, Jim Lampman. Starting 15th, Trevor DeBoer in the number 23. Starting 16th, the 25, Ken Sargent. Starting 17th, the 84 RK of Ryan Beagle. Starting 18th, the 74H of Devin Habiak. Starting 19th, the 49 is Dave Bailey, and starting 20th, the 108Z is Zach Bleach. 21st in the 79 is Christopher Hale. Starting 22nd, Casey Huffman behind the wheel of the 13. In your last row, in the number 93, it's Melissa Miller. And rounding out the field, the 41 of Adam Plazik.
Had some folks asking online about Tony, Rico, and Christopher Cumming. Whose cars will they be driving? Tony and Rico will be in their own equipment. As for Christopher Bell, I'm not 100% sure. I believe he'll be in the Hills Racing Team equipment. He's raced with them before. Maybe someone from the team can confirm that, but I believe he'll be driving for Miles Hills and team.
"20 laps the distance in this Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock feature event. Kyle McKenzie with the white flag in the air says, "One more lap, we will set you loose off of turn number 4 next time." By Derek Liverance in the green, number 40 on the inside. Go Fast Teeple in the 11 on the outside.
Don't forget, for those of you looking to see last Friday night's feature events will be available online tomorrow. I believe it's at noon.
Yeah, noon tomorrow. We will show last week's program in its entirety. I believe they show it in its entirety, or did they just show from 9 o'clock on?
I believe it's just the feature event. No, they may. It's different from the actual replay broadcast. So
I believe it's
a full event.
The replay broadcast that you can't see at all?
That one.
It would be the features, guys.
Just the features. Okay. Greens in the air for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. They're already 4 wide, heading down to corner number 1.
Things look a little smoother down through turn number 1 with that bit of work that was done on the racetrack. 4 wide, 2 rows deep down the back straightaway. Blake Bonbury is the one car that I know as I'm getting the heck out of here. He bites the brakes down into 3, regroups to mount a charge again.
Aaron Rowitsky gathering up the number 4 machine as he got all sideways down on the front stretch. Great racing action all through the pack, and getting a look there from the corner 2 perch. You can just see it. 2, 3, 4 wide racing all over as Blake Bonbury has problems in 3.
I believe he's got a flat right front tire on the 24 machine, and he's going to get a yellow because we've got a hood of a race car on the front straightaway. Aaron Rowitsky with a flat right rear in that 4 car. Yellow flag is out.
The door completely gone on the side of Aaron Rowitsky's number 4 machine.
Yeah, the safety truck was still in gear. I thought that was the driver that jumped out of the truck to pick up debris, and the truck was still rolling. On the bright side, Aaron Rowitsky, the transmission and the rear end are fine.
That'll buff right out.
Remember the cartoons? It'd be a Bugs Bunny cartoon, I think, where like the bird would lose all its feathers and then he'd stand there like he's naked covering. Aaron Rowitsky's car reminds me of that cartoon. Cover up the naughty bits.
I keep my feathers numbered for just such an emergency.
You got it. There you go.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Thank you for rescuing me.
I'm never going to look at Aaron Rowitsky the same again. I'll start calling him Foghorn.
And he got a push and drove away. What the heck was he waiting for?
See, we thought that you guys got a little punchy after things got too far past 10 o'clock, but I think it's after about like 3-4 red flags that starts to set in on you guys.
Last couple of weeks, it's been after about 7.
Yeah. Just Greg and I being this close to each other physically, it sets me off a little bit. I've had fun this season.
It has been. And we get some comments, folks like listening to us clown around, but I'm wondering about the folks that are sitting there shaking their heads. And that's...
White flag flies out of turn number 4, and they're off.
We'll see if Doug Leonard puts them all to the tail.
Well, that's the most exciting white flag I've seen in a while. Nothing to see here. Oh, go fast. He's lost all of the hood pins on that 11 machine. Look at the hood. When he comes up to speed, that hood is going to flip right up and over.
Well, the guy who liked that false start was Blake Bomber. He's made it out in time. Yes, there is the parasail.
I'm impressed. Yeah, Go Fast headed off to the pits in that number 11 machine.
Kyle McKenzie up on the flag stand says, Doug Leonard, you all right with that? Doug goes, I'm okay with that. Well, Tipo wasn't okay with that. He decided whether they both were okay with it, he was not. Chris Dickey up front in that gorgeous Burger Barn. Mark Bazine, 21X. Here we go, guys.
Well, we'll try it again now with 2 laps in, 18 to go for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Division. Dickey and Bazine side by side for the top spot down the backstretch.
Wow. Rulifson, the 6R. On the inside, Logan Schwedick in the middle. Up on the high side, it's Ryan Dinning in that number 8. They battle for the 4th position. Kenny Sargent comes down the front stretch with a big head of steam in that 25.
Jim Lampman digging on the bottom in that orange Camaro. Draws up alongside the Monte Carlo of Chris Dickey. Then you've got that Trans Am of Mark Bazine on the outside line. And Mark's really got that Burger Barn 21X hooked up here tonight. He's been good since the heats.
Yeah, Chris Dickey as well had a nice exit from turn 4. He gets himself a little bit of breathing room and now leaves him 3 wide for the 2nd spot. Ryan Dinning inching his way towards the front.
Dickey, Bazine, Lampman, top 3. Bailey, who made it through the B main right there in the 4th spot. And we're only at lap number 5.
Rob Hoskins was just completely sideways off of turn number 4, gathers that up nicely, straightens that car out. At the front, it's still Chris Dickey over Jim Lampman, Mark Bazine, Dave Bailey, and Ryan Dinning.
Great look down there track side of Dave Bailey threading the needle, gets to the inside of Mark Bazine for the 3rd position now. Dave starting to turn up the wick a little bit here in this division when we saw so many different winners to start the season. Dave Bailey now starting to flex some muscle here in this feature event. Sets his sights now on 2nd place, Jim Lampman, who looks low to the one of Chris Dickey.
Jim Lampman's been trying to size up Chris Dickey. He's a little bit better on corner entry, but Dickey's been able to dictate where he comes off the turn, and he's getting a nice run down the straightaways. But Jim Lampman slides up a little closer alongside that number 1 of Dickey, and here comes Bailey to make it 3 wide.
Bailey tucked in behind Chris Dickey as they go into corner number 1. He was the winner 1 week ago. Now he looks low on Jim Lampman, makes it 3 wide. In corner number 2, they'll go door by door by door through corner number 3 now as they battle it out for the lead here. Coming down will be 11 laps to go here for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks.
Chris Dickey driving with a lot of confidence. He'll hold the lead at the stripe. They go down into 1 and 2. Bailey on the bottom, Lampman in the middle. Now Bailey with a good run off of 2. He's going to try to slide up in front of Lampman. Leaves Lampman nowhere to go. That worked out well for Chris Dickey.
Cross flags go up in the air. 10 in, 10 to go. Dave Bailey had to make his way through the B main tonight, and he's already at the front halfway through this one. Jim Lampman tucked back in 2nd. Chris Dickey running 3rd. Bazine now has some company, and Ryan Dinning up there in the top 5 as the caution flag will fly.
Yellow flag is out. Donnie Lampman comes back onto the racetrack.
Well, Donnie Lampman has been given the go-home pass from Doug Leonard. You saw he was slow down the back straightaway. As soon as the yellow come out, he drove away. Doug said, 28 to Donnie Lampman, take it back to your trailer and get ready for next week. You are done.
I actually thought he came out of the pits, so my mistake. What a great battle at the front of this field. I would love to see Chris Dickey get a podium finish. I know we're not supposed to cheer for people, but he's had a tough run. tough stretch. Be nice to see him get a good finish.
Just to follow up the Donnie Lampman story, we saw him grab his first win here a couple weeks ago. He actually won Sunday at Humberstone as well. And people come up to him and say, hey, you're going to take your dad's Camaro? He says, why do I want that piece of junk? I'm winning in my own car.
He makes a good point. So Dave Bailey on the outside in the 49, Jim Lampman on the inside in the 28. Running in third is Chris Dickey in the 1. Fourth is Mark Bazine in the 21X. Then it's the 8 of Ryan Dinning alongside of him. I actually can't even see who that is. Is that Logan Schwedick in the 53?
Yeah.
Kenny Sargent in the 25. Ryan Beagle in the 84. Slowly coming to the green.
Here comes Dave Bailey leading the pack into corner 1. Jim Lampman to his inside. Then it's Dickey and Bazine tucked in behind them. And look at Ryan Dinning. He got a good restart. 4 wide behind him off of 2.
Down the back straightaway, 4 wide. Chris Dickey did not get the restart he was hoping for. Ryan Beagle making his presence felt around the bottom.
Bailey stretching his advantage by about 3 or 4 car lengths over second place, Jim Lampman. And he is about to feel the heat of the pack as Ryan Dinning, Mark Bazine, Logan Schwedick, Ryan Beagle all right there behind the number 28.
Rob Hoskins in that 37. I'm impressed with his run. That car's been a handful. It's been very loose at times, but he's keeping his foot in the throttle, and he's in that battle for third as well.
8 laps left to go for Dave Bailey, looking for feature win number 3 on the season. Winner last week and also won on opening night in that Queenston Chevrolet. Gibbs Action Sports, number 49.
Oh boy, Ryan Dinning all sorts of sideways in 4. Ryan Beagle lifts to let him gather it up.
Logan Schwedick somehow has worked his way into that third spot, getting by Mark Bazine. Bazine back to 4th. Beagle right there in 5th, working to the inside. Rob Hoskins up there mixing it up just outside of the top 5.
Rob keeps adjusting his line, adjusting his entry, but he's making gains on that 37 machine. Looking good out there, challenging for a top 5 position.
Right behind him, Ryan Dinning, Ken Sargent, teammates there, the Club 54 racing team, with 5 laps left to go for Dave Bailey. Mark Fawcett running in behind Dinning and Sargent. And Trevor DeBoer kind of having an off night right now, back there racing with Christopher Hale back in the 10th, 11th area.
Yeah, he was slow to start to get through traffic, and he's committed to running the bottom out there, and he's just not able to make gains in that 23 machine.
4 laps left to go now for Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey. Jim Lampman solidly in a second place spot. And then it's Schwedick and Beagle. They're the 2 that are going at it for a podium finish here.
Third back to about 15th. They're all within striking distance, but the big battle is Beagle and Schwedick for that 3rd spot. And then the race for 5th, Mark Bazine in the 21 with Rob Hoskins in the 37.
Kyle McKenzie will bring out the double flags. 2 laps left to go for Dave Bailey over Jim Lampman, Logan Schwedick, and the Beagle machine out. Oh, hard compact for Van der Zanden and impact over there for Van der Zanden and Liverance in the 40. Oh, there's some heavy right front damage.
Van der Zanden had gotten into the 1 of Chris Dickey, and Chris Dickey's car just seemed to come up lame on the back straightaway. And then Derek Liverance had a big head of steam down into 3. Clinton Jeffrey, what do you see?
I believe this is Devin Habick in the 74 here tonight.
You're right, Devin Habick.
With all kinds of problems on the right front. As you can see, that car is tore up big time. Going to need a hook on the front of that one. The Liverance 40 car, we can see it has a flat right front as well, so he may need a hook as well if he can't drive it back. We'll get in there and sort this out for you quickly.
Next week, Frankie Turkey Memorial here at the Speedway. All 4 divisions in action. 7:30 start time as usual. We get a replay here on the collision down in corner number 3. It's going to be a fairly solid. Okay, the right front damage was, from the Chris Dickey incident, and then Liverance piled in. For Devin Habiak there in the 74H.
And Jeffrey popping the hood open on the 4, just put it right back down. So the rad I shouldn't say the rad taken out of the 74, could just be a rad hose, but I have a feeling the rad's gone out of that. Derek Liverance climbing out of that green number 40. Clint, I'd be curious to ask Chris Dickey what happened to the number 1. Something happened to slow him down dramatically down in turn 3, and he's waiting for assistance to get the car out of there in turn 4. So still the 360 sprints yet to come and the mini stock feature event.
I talked about next week is the Frankie Turkey Memorial Night. Then following that, it is Strickland's night here at the Speedway. Drive safe, ride safe, race safe, bicycle night. I assume that's the night they give away the boatload of bicycles here down in front, which is always a good night. And the vintage cars will be on the schedule as well on Friday, July the 12th. And then the week after that, Friday, July the 19th, Gibbs Action Sports presents Halloween in July and Autograph Night. So Christmas in July and Halloween night have flip-flopped this year, so it'll be costume night on July the 19th. That should be pleasant to wear a nice hot costume on a warm July night.
What are you going to dress up as?
I was going to come as you.
You can't achieve that.
I was going to put wheels on a recliner and wheel my way into the Speedway with a game of Candy Crush strapped to my hand, and
I'm going to make you like me because I'm going to show up as an ice cream sundae. Eat that, Calvin.
You know I can't say no.
Darn you!
So that night, as I mentioned, also autograph night, so a good chance to get down, meet all your favorite drivers trackside. I know a lot of the younger fans enjoy that, to get up close and personal.
Oh, Chris Dickey getting the long push back to the pits after what started as a good race for the driver from Brantford in that one machine. Wasn't to be here tonight. Derek Liverance gets the safety gear off as he takes the ride back to the pits on the hook. Devin Habiak going to have a visit with the ambulance. Driver of the 74H and a little bit of discomfort up there. You going to races the rest of this weekend, Greg?
No, I'm not. But you are headed to La Belle Province?
Normally I ride down on Friday and I have to miss Ohsweken Speedway. As things worked out, I booked a flight tomorrow morning out of Toronto because I don't want to miss Friday nights. If I can avoid having to miss shows, I'm going to. So I'm pretty excited that I was able to be here tonight.
He's a big wheel now, Greg. He's getting flown around the country.
It's a cargo plane.
He's going to fly to Quebec and hope his arms aren't falling off by the time he gets there.
Let me tell you, the ride to Quebec City is painful. I think without traffic it would be about 8 hours, but I have no idea because Quebec is under construction between April and November of every year. So you can't get there from here by car. Just don't.
Big bird can't fly, Clint.
I'm not quoting Les Nessman again, but I'd like to. Or was it Herb Tarlick?
No, it was Les.
It was Les?
Well, what do we see on the monitor? We see some precipitation. White flag is out with some precipitation beginning to fall here. Cliff Peterson says you're going in a hot air balloon. And you're going to self-propel it.
That's right. 2 laps to go. We are going to go green out of 4. Dave Bailey, the race leader in the 49.
Trying to sell this one with 2 laps to go and some weather in the area now as Dave Bailey and Jim Lampman in his tire tracks. Logan Schwedek works to the inside of Bailey, can't make it stick. Remember, Logan Schwedek had that problem in the qualifying heat, smoke pouring out of the 53. They've fixed that, and he's been stout all night. Even in the heat, he was solid.
White flag, 1 more lap to go as Dave Bailey leads him down the front straightaway. Schwedek and Lampman close quarters racing down into 1.
Here comes Schwedek trying to catch the man to beat in this division. Dave Bailey and that Brewster Baker, number 49, goes down into corner 3 for the final time. Schwedek's going to have one more chance.
Gives it a good run on the bottom. Can't get the power down. He's going to have to settle for second. Lampman, third. Beagle, fourth. Bazine holds off Hoskins to round out the top 5.
So Dave Bailey will pick up win number 3 on the season. The point leader right now in the division. Will pad his points advantage. He held a 36-point lead over Trevor DeBoer, who finished outside of the top 5 tonight. Ken Sargent came in 3rd, Jim Lampman was 4th, and Ryan Beagle 5th in the standings coming into the night. So Dave Bailey's going to definitely gain some more ground on the rest of the field.
Well, guys, just a quick weather update. It is spitting a little bit out here, but the 360s have been called. We are canceling Victory Lane till the end of the night. We're going to try and get the 360 race in. They have been called to the track. We will watch the weather. Right now, we can go with a couple of these drops that are going around. If it gets any worse, we may be in trouble, but we are going to attempt to get the 360s underway.
And shouldn't make note that Dave Bailey, with that win, unofficially goes to the top of the pile in Thunderstock career feature wins with his 24th. Now, that win list is incomplete. Tommy Gooch, who does all the stats, still missing some of the feature results from early years here at the Speedway. But right now, Dave Bailey, unofficially the all-time win leader for the Thunderstock division. Ready to go with the A-Main for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. 20 laps will be the distance. Feature race number 6 on the season. Starting from the pole out of Caister Center in the Charlie B. Honey Pius Spring and Alignment Mudcat Entertainment Center. Car number 11, it's Jamie Turner alongside out of Dorchester, Ontario. Driving the Case IH Ohsweken Speedway Aero Express. Car number 1, it'll be Holly Porter. Starting in position number 3 out of Fenwick, in the Ohsweken Speedway, Bradshaw Brother Fuels number 0. That is the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. He'll go from 3rd in car number 0. Going from 4th out of Lewiston, New York, the G&J Contracting 81 is Derek Jonathan. Going from 5th from Scotland in the Sovereign Fusion Original Traders Energy, Burford Heating and Air Conditioning. Car number 47X, D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook, and to his outside, going from position number 6 out of Alden, New York, in the Merzak Enterprises Fiberworks Composite, car number 49, the straight shooter, Scott Kruder. Starting 7th from Thetford, Ontario, in the Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Banker, Tim's Lawn Care 5D, this will be Shane Ross. And going from 8th out of Mississauga, the winner 1 week ago in the Rip Shot, CarStar Brantford, car number 17X, the highlight man, Mac DeMan. Starting 9th from Brantford, in the CarQuest Auto Parts, Brown Auto Service, car number 10 is Downtown, Mitch Brown. And going from 10th from Ohsweken in the Case IH Ohsweken Speedway Aero Express, 68 rookie driver Aaron Turkey. Going from 11th out of Caister Center, the Burger Barn Ace 1 Construction Mobile 1, number 13, that'll be Corey Turner. And alongside him, his brother from Dunville, Ontario, in the Kingpin Farms, Burger Barn Racing, car number 91, that is Ryan Turner. Starting 13th from Scotland in the Total Rentals Ackland Insurance, car number 87X, it'll be Sean Evans. And lining up to his outside from Brantford in the Hills Tire and Gas, Brown Auto Service, Little Bend 110, it's Jake Brown. Going from 15th from Carlisle, driving the Nitro 54 Variety, MMBO Direct Marketing number 9, it's Steve Lyons. And going from 16th from Beamsville in the Parts Source, Janney Recovery 88H, That'll be Josh Hansen. Starting 17th from Waterdown, the Tammy 10 Media, Core Pack Merchandising 0C is Cole McDonald. And his outside in the Prestige Pools and Spas, number 67, Steve Glover. Steve Glover from Ontario, New York. Starting 19th from Verona, New York, it'll be Pete Richardson, also in the Prestige Pools and Spas, number 67. And going from position number 20 out of Thamesford, the Vipond, Aller Karn, number 45 of Curtis Gartley. Starting 21st, driving the DVC Contracting, number 71S. That will be Sean Slider out of Port Colborne. And starting in 22nd from Caister Center in the body line, Total Coatings, number 46, it'll be Kevin Paul. Starting 23rd from right here in Ohsweken in the Nitro 54 variety, Ackland Insurance 15, it's Dan Nanakoke. Alongside out of Simcoe in the Gales Auto Aftermarket 21, it's John Burbridge Sr. And starting in the 25th and final position in the ERW Contracting 9B from Charing Cross, it's Scott Burke. White flag display. Next time by, we're going green flag racing for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. 2x2, 13 rows of beautifully prepared sprint cars ready to come to life. Jamie Turner, Holly Porter on the front row. Kyle McKenzie with the double greens in hand. Pace truck pulls off on the backstretch. Ladies and gentlemen, you came looking for a show. Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our feature presentation. They all rumble, bumble, stumble down through 1 and 2. Jamie Turner, your leader. Holly Porter in that second spot. And Jim Hoopinen right there in tow in the top 3.
Clean opening lap for these 360 sprint cars. Jamie Turner hanging on to the lead while Jim Hoopinen and Holly Porter battle for second. And wow, Hoopinen sailed it into turn 3.
Off of corner 4 they come. Jim Hoopinen in that Steyrs Racing number 0. This is his third feature race in that car. Second here at Ohsweken. He's running in the runner-up spot. He'll make the challenge down low at 3.
Looks to the inside of Jamie Turner for the lead. He'll squirt by on the bottom and take that spot down the front stretch.
Jim Hoopinen set sail at corner number 1 already. Catching the back part of the field is Kevin Pauls directly in front of him. But Jamie Turner has that Charlie B. Honey, number 11, hooked up tonight. That number 11 machine solidly right there, keeping pace with Jim Hoopinen.
Jamie Turner feeling racy, goes to the outside of Kevin Pauls, immediately back to the bottom of the racetrack.
John Burbridge Sr. pulls off. He'll head to the pit area. So John Burbridge done for the night with Jim Hoopinen. Trouble down in the front stretch. Dan Nanakoke gathers the 15 machine back up right in front of the leader.
That was a lot going on for Jim Hoopinen to see out in front of his nose wing there. He'll sweep to the outside of Curtis Gartley. Now in front of him, it'll be Slider in the 71. He'll pitch it to the inside.
Jamie Turner sliding back. You've got Jim Hoopinen, your leader. Then it's Mac DeMann who's feeling pressure from Dylan Westbrook for second. And now Scott Kruder's into the mix. A 3-car fight for the second spot. Jamie Turner back to 5th.
Those are some heavy hitters. Second on back to 4th. Curtis Gartley to the inside in the 45. One up the racetrack in 3 and 4.
That was Scott Burke. He gathers it back up. We stay green flag racing. Curtis Gartley slows it down to the infield, and it looks like he is done for the night with Jim Hoopinen working to the outside of Dan Nanakoke. This time by, he'll complete lap number 8.
Hoopinen's lead is shrinking just a little bit. Mac DeMann closing that gap in the 17, but with every lap car, Hoopinen able to put between himself and Mac DeMann. That's a huge advantage. Dan Nanakoke comes up lame in turn number 2, inching his way down the backstretch.
Yeah, the 15 of Dan Nanakoke very slow in corner number 2. Sean Slider had to get out of the gas to get around him. And finally comes to a stop down to the entry of corner 3.
Now, we got a note from Lee Burbridge saying it's John Burbridge Jr. in the 21.
Okay.
And I saw John Burbridge Sr. as well, so we are confident it's a John Burbridge.
I should have known better and just said John Burbridge.
Hey, you're not wrong.
Well, guys, track report. Track is in great shape. These big drops aren't really affecting the surface at all. Here in the early going of this one, we are hustling to try and get in. The mini stocks have been called to the line. We are going to keep powering through to try and get this one in the books.
Talk about the Burbridge Racing family, a good bunch of folks, and they come, the family here all set up in the pit area, and Man, they've been doing the sprint car thing for a long time now, and just loyal supporters and great people. And sorry to see John Burbridge Jr. off early here in this one.
Trying to sort out a couple of things with the running order. We can see Doug Leonard, or hear Doug Leonard, shouting instructions over the one-way radio.
So they need to get the lap car of Sean Slider tucked in line, and I think he needs to go, in between Jim Hoopinen and Mac DeMann. And I heard Doug Leonard say, Mac, let him in or you're going to the rear. You have to get him back in line. So Sean Slider, the lapped car, will slot in between Jim Hoopinen and Mac DeMann.
But I don't want to.
Well, the problem, guys, is the 9B of Scott Burke that Doug was talking to. He said your choice is you either have to get up where you were scored, which is between Jamie Turner and Derek Jonathan, or you go all the way to the tail. You don't get to pick where you want to be in the back of the pack.
Okay, so that's probably what we were hearing, but there was also the discussion of getting Sean Slider in line as well.
Yellow flag continues to wave.
Really good to see Jamie Turner looking so strong here tonight. That car has a lot of horsepower, really hooked up, and he's had his fair share of struggles the start of this season and even going back into part of last year. So for Jamie to be up there hanging in the top 5, good run for him.
Yeah, it is so, and Jamie Turner saying not so fast, not supposed to be that far up. Now we see the white flag in the hand of Kyle McKenzie.
So again, Jim Hoopinen in his 3rd start here in the Steyrs Racing number 0 as he got behind the wheel last Friday night here at Ohsweken and then followed that up with the Southern Ontario Sprints at Merrittville last Saturday night. And this looks like it could be a very successful partnership here with the Red Rocket driving the familiar Steyrs number 0. The Bradshaw Brothers Fuels number 0 will bring them to the green flag, and we're back on it. 8 laps complete, 12 to go.
Wow, Dylan Westbrook noses to the inside of Mac DeMann. Couldn't make that stick. DeMann will get around the lap car of Slider. Now Westbrook looking to the outside. He's going to lose that spot to Scott Kruder.
Wow, what a move as he shoots by Scott Kruder, who got all bent up there in corner number 4. Kruder goes back by him on the inside line. They'll go wheel to wheel down the backstretch with Dylan Westbrook a slight advantage.
Mac DeMann working the bottom of the racetrack, and boy, oh boy, that car is evil as we reach the halfway of this 20-lap feature event.
Hoopinen gets by the lap car of Kevin Pauls. Here comes Mac DeMann working the inside line, but I'll tell you what, Jim Hoopinen's got this car hooked up strong tonight.
Looks to me that 3 and 4 is definitely to Jim Hoopinen's advantage. 1 and 2 seems to be a bit of a draw right now. They're both running about the same speed through 1 and 2, but Mac DeMann showing the nose again to the inside of Jim Hoopinen.
2 more cars pull into the pit area as Kevin Pauls and Dan Nanakoke now have gone to the pit area. As Mac DeMann now shoots into the inside and into the lead, gets by Jim Hoopinen as they get into some heavy traffic.
Steve Lyons slowed there, and that really affected Jim Hoopinen's line. As now Mac DeMann going up the racetrack, Hoopinen going to the bottom, Hoopinen trying to retake the lead.
Wow, what a battle, and I think Mac DeMann may have briefly brushed the wall in the backstretch. Hoopinen back to the top spot, leads across the line, and Mac DeMann hard into the wall on the front stretch.
Has a flat right front, guys. He blew out the right front.
DeMann rides the concrete. We are still under green. Now the yellow flies. Goodness gracious, that was something. Oh, and the rains have come. Looking at the monitor, it is raining.
What a ride down the wall here for Mac DeMann, and I'm pretty sure he brushed the backstretch wall. That's what started all of this. Going into corner number 3.
Now here's an interesting question if you're a race official, Greg. Should this race be called right now? Where does Mac DeMann finish?
Good question. Well, if he was the reason for the caution, though,
you go to the back for the restart.
Yeah,
they haven't restarted yet.
So
He wouldn't be second,
I
Adam.
agree with Clayton. Last car in the lead lap.
He'll be the last car in the lead lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it.
We always have to have a voice of reason in the tower. This week it's Clayton. Sometimes it's Tommy. You and I really, we're always looking for someone else for the answer.
Oh, yeah. They will inevitably argue, yeah, but I crossed the line. Yeah, you were on top of the wall.
So McDeman came in as the point leader. 29 points up on Jim Hoopinen, who is now the race leader. Dylan Westbrook gained some ground last week, got back up into the top 3 in points. Corey Turner 4th and Ryan Turner 5th. So for McDeman, he's going to lose some ground tonight here, and depending on how this weather shakes out.
Well, he gets his 2 minutes in the work area, so it's quite possible they can change that right front.
Quite a hard impact, that front stretch wall.
Double checkered flag in the air, and I believe I saw Jim Hoopinen pumping his fist behind the wheel. That's got to feel good for the veteran driver.
Pretty sure he's glad that he accepted the opportunity to drive for Glenn Stiers as he'll pick up the win here tonight for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. Officials deciding that they need to call the event with the precipitation coming down. Lone Wolf Fireworks lighting up the sky to celebrate Jim Hoopinen's first win for Glenn Stiers Racing. Get your 50-50 tickets out, folks. We're going to draw the number right now here in the tower. So get your 50-50 tickets out. If you're headed to your car, 88.1 FM. If you're headed to your car, Darren, DJ Darren, draw a number for us here. Winning 50-50 number is 49206. 49206. If you have that number, please make your way up to the tower. The total is $985. 49206.
I see Clinton Jeffrey making his way into the pits.
What do you need, Adam, before my mic cuts out here?
I'm just not sure if you're going to do Victory Lane.
No, we are sending all the cars back to the pits. We will conduct Victory Lanes at the start of next week, and we want to get everybody out here before it gets too wet.
I was hoping you were going to tell me you were chasing some action into the pits like the good old days.
Well, I thought they had the camera and the mic. They could go talk to Jim Hoopinen in the pit barn where it's dry.
Oh, no,
No. See, that's why we can't do it.
I got solid nuts. That's going to do it for us over here in the pits. We'll have to talk to these guys next week.
Sounds good. All right, well, thanks, folks. We try to get as much as we could in, so we do have one more feature to conclude, and I assume they'll run that next Friday night. There is no extra events on the schedule for next Friday evening, so the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks will run their makeup race, I would believe, next Friday night. But go to OhswekenSpeedway.com for all the latest information and news surrounding the running of that race. So that will do it. Another great night of racing, and cool to see Jim Hoopinen back in Victory Lane, and to see the Zero back in Victory Lane as well. And we'll get to see that officially next week.
Yeah, that definitely feels good. We saw some great racing. We saw some great gains with the racing surface as well. Track crew has lots to be proud of.
So that will wrap things up from here at the Big O. We want to thank everyone that joined us here in person here tonight. We're sorry we just could not get everything in, but a great night of racing action here at Ohsweken Speedway. So that will wrap things up on behalf of the Stiers family, all of our officials, crew, staff, everyone that worked so hard to bring the racing action here on a Friday night. We want to say thank you to them, and on behalf of them and on behalf of Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross, my name is Greg Kellnan saying so long. We'll see you right back here at the Big O next Friday night, 7:30.